just the same. Why bother with empty jars? There's better places to keep your heart on. Why lie about your name when you look the part and you dance the same? You made your bed. Why do you lie in mine instead? Yourself at home inside my head. Why bother to entertain? Every joke's in vain. Why lie about your frame when genetics are to blame? Why bother with empty jars? There's better places to keep your heart on. Why lie about your name when you look the part and you dance the same? You made your bed. Why do you lie in mine instead? Yourself at home inside my head. Why bother with empty jars? There's better places to keep your heart on. Why lie about your name when you look the part and you dance the same? Oh. Why bother with empty jars? There's better places to keep your heart on. Why lie about your name when you look the part and you dance the same? Oh. Why bother with empty jars? There's better places to keep your heart on. Why lie about your name when you look the part and you dance the same? Oh. Why bother with empty jars? There's better places to keep your heart. She said to me, oh death, come close my eyes. Whoa, I know I'm more fool than wise. She said to me, oh death, it's way too wet on your cheeks to be nothing. But what does she know? Really, what does she know? Oh, I never wanted anything as little as I want this now. Oh, I take my pistol, gonna make you proud. Keep your pity to yourself. Oh,
Oh no.
It's way too wet on her cheeks to be nothing. But what does she know? Really, what does she know? Oh, when I see her looking at me, you best believe she's only looking past me. But now I'm fooling wise.
I'm sorry, what the fuck do you mean, oh no? Wait. The fuck? What the fuck? Imagining Wheat isn't even listening to me right now. But... fuck?
She said to me, oh death. Come close my eyes, whoa. I know I'm a fool and wise. She said to me.
It's such a fucking banger though, holy shit. It's such a good song, isn't it, Jakey? Holy shit. Anyway. Hello. I'm alive. I'm not wearing my glasses. Why am I not wearing my glasses? How are we doing today?
Wait, Redox
How are we
streams,
all
is that true?
doing?
I want to follow you, Redox.
Oh my god.
OWO, what's this bestie?
Still going. Huh. Thanks for Jesus Christ, Jay. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, thanks for that. Piano. Yeah, that I don't get that reference. I get it, but I don't get it. The only reason I get that is because of the fucking Yogscast thing. Anyway. Oh, I need to... No, I don't... I have no idea what the science show is. I've literally only seen the Yogscast TTT thing. It's literally all I do. I need to make a tweet, chat. I need to make a tweet. I'm gonna take a picture right now. I'm gonna take a picture. We have words later. I can't wait. I'm excited. Okay, chat. Are you gonna be my picture? Should I get you my picture? That might not be a good idea. Fuck it. I'm not getting you my picture. There's a Shrek filter. Oh my god. I'm Shrek, chat.
My name is Redox, but you can call me
Okay.
Redox. Thank you for following my channel.
Thank you. Who's that? Fragility? S? Fragile? I don't know. Wildcat redeemed a free sub? Hog? It did work. It did work. I saw it. I'm just blind. I'm just very blind. I think that's mainly it. Give me 2 seconds. I will do the thing. Who do you want that on? Oh, the emote. Oh, I see. You want that on yourself? Do you want it for yourself, or do you want it for someone else, Wild? I'm going to...
I want to follow you, Redox.
Oh my god. There's too much shit happening. I'm making a tweet, chat. I'm doing a tweet. I'm doing it live. I retweet, quote tweet this again. Okay, I'm quote tweeting the same thing again, because why the fuck not? Everyone join the fucking scam train.
Choo choo.
While we enjoy some sugar music. Thank you, Bex, as well. It's been 13 months. I think that is incredible. That is amazing, if anything. But yeah. Wild's getting a free footlong. Jay, I'm not watching YouTube videos right now. But if you don't want to ride the scam train, then don't. Right, okay, we're gonna listen to some calm. It's piano. I believe in you, but not now. What was I doing? Yeah, thing. I get so distracted. Hello. Science turned me into the perfect being. Come watch, please? Question mark? Here we go. Everyone go and like and retweet that tweet. Do it now. Oh no. Oh, that got cut off. That got cut off. Oh, that's... I like it, yeah, it's just saying oh, but very fast. I like it, it's good. Wise. Oh yeah, I moved some emotes a lot. I moved some emotes around, so now I have like my my bit emotes are now like based on that character, like the first two. I don't know if you guys seen it, but Clara made one for my birthday as well. Look at it, look at it. Look at it. It's very cute. So I made those my oh my god. George. Oh, it's done. I was gonna walk off. But I was too slow. I couldn't do the bit. You'll have to do it again, George. Thank you for the 1,000 bitties, George. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Shouldn't you be like doing other stuff, you and Wise, you fucking freaks? Shouldn't you be like all having a big orgy together or whatever the fuck you're doing? I don't know. Wild, do you want the sub on you yourself, or do you want it on someone else, or do you want it? Where do you want it? Hi George. Oh no. Oh, let's hear this. I'm excited for this one. It just spells it? Come on now.
Wait, Redox streams? Is that true? I'm gonna follow you, Redox.
George, you fuck. George, I literally was about to do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. You fuck. That's not how this works, George. Wheat is crying. I hope so. That's what I want. I'm gonna reject the things. Okay, I've given you your points back. Also, unpause this one and pause that one. I've given you your points back, Wild. You can redeem it again if you want to give it to someone else.
Wait, Redox
where's Wheat?
streams? Is that true?
Wheat, what's Wheat onto? Science
Science
time.
time neat.
Neat? What do you mean neat? That's Dutch for not. Why are you saying not? It is gonna be science time. It's gonna be real science. What the fuck? The fuck? I can't believe you said that. Has it been 7 months, Zephyr? That is incredible.
Bingus, 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 bingus,
my
bingus,
boy.
bingus, 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 bingus.
Oh, bingus. Bingus. Bingus, 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 indeed. Indeed, bingus, bingus, bingus. Kinda, it's so crazy that it's been 7 months, though. Name 5 elements. Hydrogen, helium, osmium, boron, and your mum. There you go. Something weird happened with my camera there. Kate, how are you doing? Hi guys, it's Bingus here. Shop guys. Shop guys, it's Bingish. Should I? Aw, tell Wheat that he's also very cute, Tafki. Somebody, I set the bar too low. Sleepy, I hope you have a good good rest, NK. Have a good rest. That's such a cute emote. I love it. Well, shut the fuck up, Wise. Maybe you should stream instead, huh? Why didn't you turn your stream on right now? Huh? Oh, Wise, why didn't you turn your stream on right now? This is true, Kate. You are cute. It is known. It is known. I can't read Atomo by chat. Zephyr, love science. Oh, I do love science. I do love me a good bit of science. Science is just really cool. There's some, as I'm sure we'll discover today, there's some just really cool things to learn about the world. And there's some like really crazy facts, you know? That you can just, I don't know, there's some really cool things that feel like counterintuitive and stuff, and yet make so much sense when you actually think about it, and things like that is just so cool. Right? That's why I love science. I love learning about new things. I don't know. Who can ever be sure? I learned my mum's an element. It's true. It's true. It's true. Anyway, should we call Wheat? Should we call Wheat? Will we even know? Okay, let's see how long it will take for Wheat to notice. Started a call. Let's see. We'll never know.
Bitch saying, how long will it take for me to notice? Well, I'm literally staring at him, waiting to do anything.
Are you watching my stream? I see. Listen, listen. I don't know if you were busy doing your own thing or not. Okay, I'm not smart.
My own thing was criticizing you for taking so long. That was my introduction.
The fuck? It's perfect timing. I said around, 7 or 9 your time. 8 or 9, 7 or 8, whatever fucking time is. And guess what time it is now? One of those. So?
True. I was given a range, and we have certainly reached the limits of that range, but...
Listen, it's 10 PM. Shut the fuck up, Jay. Shut the fuck up. There is a multi-stream. If anyone wants to watch Wheat's stream as well, Wheat will have some, interesting spacey visuals, I'm assuming. You've got Space Sim or whatever the fuck it's called up, right?
Yeah, Space Engine. Look, everyone, come and look at the beautiful background I have.
Come and look. Why are you? Oh no, my thing's gone wrong. You're not supposed to see that. Oh, everything's gone wrong already. Let me just fix this. Everyone, go watch Wheat stream while I fix this. It won't take long.
They can't fix it. Nope, it can't be done. Can't be done. Oh no, Tafki got chocolate on her blanket, or is that just an excuse?
You got chocolate on your blanket? What the fuck, Tafki? What do you mean? I can't. I'm watching your stream. Well, Zephyr, fuck you. Okay.
Nice one, Jared.
See, there we go. Oh, this is the wrong set. Listen, it's all. Don't worry about all of that. Don't worry about all of this, okay? It's all fine. Why am I so... Oh, I got a hype train.
So did I.
I got a get.
Why did I get one?
Because you subbed. You started it. This is your fault. You did this.
I am the train driver. Brilliant. I've always wanted a job.
You've always wanted to be a train driver, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got a little drawing thing open so I can draw things while you all look at it, and I can pull up a fucking browser if I need to show you things. Got a private window open, ready to do things, ready to type in Portugal and stuff. Why are you giving me?
Perfect.
There we go. So if you want to know anything about Portugal, I'm ready. You want to know. Gene, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And stream separate with audio being not synced. It's weird when I just repeat. Yeah, don't. I would suggest not having both audio on. If
Yeah,
you're gonna
there will
watch
be-
both streams, but you know.
Yeah, there will be times when what's on my screen is more interesting, and there will be times when what's on Redox's screen is more interesting. So
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah, so have fun. But yeah, I think it should be on the timer, so it should be showing up in chat. But I feel like the bot might just be dead. Also,
Could be.
just dead.
Fossa does
Um,
die. I am at war with Fossa. They do constantly not reply to my pedegi, so I do get upset with them.
Yeah, who can ever be sure? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Why did you make a new command? It's literally exclamation mark multi-j, you papega. There's a nice multi-stream, you absolute page. But also, thanks. Right, so I asked you all to post questions in my Discord, which many of you certainly did. Some of you, you know, some of you,
Even put
Took
more
it.
than one.
yeah, some of you took it a bit more serious, but you know, who can ever be sure? I'm gonna turn off this music. We're gonna listen to some.
Okay. If anyone's wondering, I have great music right now. Shut up, DJ.
No, you're not meant to ask here. You're meant to ask in my Discord. You pagan. Anyway, so
Yeah, only ask here. if we've run
we're
out.
gonna go through the list. If you want to ask things here that are like concerning like about the things that we're gonna talk about, then feel free to. If you know like questions that are topical are okay, of course. So yeah,
Yeah.
just any questions, fine. And if I feel like I want to talk about it, then I'll talk about it. You know. I think
Yeah, that's how
it
this
goes.
works. This is all about us, after all.
Yeah, there's a
This
pinned
isn't
thread
about the science.
in
This isn't
my-
about
in my
the
Discord.
education.
Yeah, it's
This is
about
about-
us.
Drawing things in Paint. / Photoshop / whatever program that is.
It's actually Fire Alpaca. So you don't have to post that question anymore if you wanted to know that. There we go, already answered. Question 1.
That's question 1.
Done.
Tick. On to
Done.
the next.
Done. That's a terrible tick. Can I ask you to explain something I already know I just think is neat? Yeah, sure. If you want to know any... Yeah, of course. Of course. So,
Of course.
shall we start with the questions? Okay, I have a great plan. Wait, Okay, so, first of all, the double question. Not really connected to each other, but they're in one message, so there we go.
Well,
Greza asks... do you want me to share my screen to you so you can see, or do you have my stream open? guess
I
you
have the Discord, I have all the streams, I have all the chats. You wouldn't believe how many windows I have open.
Yeah, I've got so much shit open. It's terrible. Anyway, so Greza asks, could a sonic screwdriver exist in the future? Wait, take it away. What?
Well, it depends, you know. Like conceivably, I would say yes, because in some ways, oh look, the moon is going past on my thing. Anyway, conceivably, I would say yes,
Yeah.
because essentially, a sonic screwdriver is simply something that allows you to, use your consciousness to allow you to manipulate what electronic systems do. Although it goes beyond that sometimes and also affects organic systems. So in
I
some
thought
ways, I
it
would
didn't
say
affect
that-
organic systems at all. That's why it couldn't open
well,
like
it
wood
can
doors
do.
and shit,
Like it
right?
can scan things. It can occasionally like make a loud noise that deafens things. That's manipulating organics, right?
Well, okay, let's
in the
let's
same
look
way
at
that
let's
me
look at the
shouting
wiki page for
manipulates
what a
organics.
sonic screwdriver is. It's a fictional multifunctional tool.
Mhm.
Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so it's a multifunctional tool in the British science fiction to program Doctor Who and its spin-offs. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, sure. Is there a thing that here you go, functions. Unlocking or locking a door, burning or cutting certain substances, remotely detonating specific machines or explosives, amplifying sound waves with the potential and the power of an X-ray machine beyond its normal capacities. I mean, most of these things are already
Keep going.
quite possible. Quite
Keep
possible.
going. Yeah.
Disarming weapons and electronics. That's the thing. Which something that is really cool actually. Do you know how? Have you ever seen like what's it called? Drone jammers and stuff.
No.
Because they have like, you'll see them when like the president is out. Okay.
Oh, I see. Right. Yes, I think I know what you mean.
It's because, you know, a realistic threat.
Are you not going to
is-
draw this?
I was gonna get a picture up.
What's the point in having paint, which isn't paint
I'll
open?
draw it in a minute.
If you're
Look,
not going to draw
basically-
the president being told to get down as a drone jammer.
no,
it's
that's
fired.
the paint thing is for actual graphs or things, okay? Or like I don't know. We'll get to it anyway. Basically, they fucking have guns, but like they look like guns, but they're just like a fucking flat end, and they
Fire
shoot
what,
some-
radio waves? Some kind
probably.
of
I'm not
wave,
entirely sure.
some kind of wave that interrupts the signal and causes them
Yeah.
to go, oh no, we must shut down.
Which is,
so they
but
do.
they look incredible.
They
They
do.
look like some fucking scary laser shit, and it's
Oh
just
my
what's
goodness,
in.
it's a railgun.
Yeah, it looks fucking scary as fuck, but it's just. Well, it's just a drone jammer gun. Anyway, so these kind of things are, you know, possible.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah, Greza said it's more can I screw and unscrew things with sound.
I
Probably.
mean, yeah,
Actually,
I mean,
yes.
conceptually, yes, because you can move things with sound.
It's not even
Um,
very hard, realistically. What you need, all you need to know, it's the same principle as how you would break a glass with your voice, right?
Well, the problem is the screwing motion, I think. Because shattering is just that you're vibrating it backwards and forwards.
Yeah, but I feel like if you just vibrate it in the... Does the screw have to be intact afterwards? That's a very good question.
I would say yes.
I
in
think
this
that
case.
is part of it.
I think for Grez's purposes, the answer is yes, I want my screw back. So I think for unscrewing things, that in terms of like a handheld device that you point at something and it screws or unscrews, I would say no. Because like you could make something unscrew with sound, but it would be like something that you have to put like around the screw to make it go, okay, and then the sound just acts
Travels
in
like
that thing and goes in like
Yeah.
a circle inside it and makes it into like effectively a very inefficient screwdriver. And you could
But it could
reverse it to
work.
go the other way.
in some way.
But yes,
But
you
also,
could
just
unscrew something.
if
with
you so basically how this would work is you'd get you'd have to play the resonant frequency to its like inherent frequency, basically, so that you want to play basically the same frequency as the inherent frequency of the screw, right? To get it to move. Basically everything that you know has everything has a frequency that it likes to shake at, right?
Yeah, that's essentially a multiple of the wavelength. So a wavelength is a multiple of the length of the thing, so that it gets basically all the way along. So for instance, this bike bottle opener I hold up to my camera is a length. If only I had a ruler nearby to tell you what length. But say you had something 5 centimeters long. If you played a frequency that had a wavelength of 5 centimeters in that, it would have a much stronger effect than otherwise, because it matches the length. It can properly shake it and be consistent and bouncing around from both ends of the object. That's the thing, where if it's bouncing around and in phase at both sides, so 5 centimeters isn't quite right, it would have to be something a bit different. But if it's bouncing around in phase within the object, all of the in phase bits are being amplified, and that constantly happens, making it bigger and bigger and bigger, which is why you get the big shakes that you do in these objects. If it doesn't match, then what happens is the waves are in phase at certain points and out of phase at certain points, which means some points they cancel out, some points they go higher, but on average it's not a cumulative effect. Whereas resonant, it's all matching with each other and all being doubled. Redox will now draw you a graph of how how wave phases work.
Yeah, so imagine this is the frequency that it this is the resonant frequency that we want. if it's not in phase, for example, if we if it's like
The opposite.
the opposite.
The opposite's easy, 'cause, well, then it's just a straight line.
Yeah.
This
How
is-
frequencies work is you literally just add them up.
Yeah, as an
Right.
aside, this is how noise cancelling works.
Yeah. So you that's not green. You'd have this height, and then in the other direction you'd have this height at this certain point. You'd count them up, and so if it's exactly in antiphase, is that what you call it in English?
Yeah.
It just literally cancels out, which means there will be absolutely no vibration. And this is how you do noise cancelling. So yeah, if the sound that you're getting into your ears is, this one, then what noise cancelling headphones would do is play this noise, and you would hear absolutely nothing, which is really interesting. And that's how you can cancel out very specific frequencies as well, and that's why it's so specific. Yeah, which is really cool. But yeah, in the end, if you want to unscrew a screw, I think if you just have like a really high amplitude, so basically if you just
destroy it.
yeah,
You could knock down
the
the
screw would
door.
wiggle enough, and maybe at some point because of like entropy, it would start to spin a bit, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel
don't
like,
know,
but I feel like
maybe,
you'd also
like,
just be destroying the lock more.
You'd screw it out and screw it in, and maybe through some random chance it would unscrew completely.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a
if it
good
was,
point.
like-
It would also screw itself in again because you can't really control.
Like
the
that's
direction
why I
if you're
think the only
just,
way you could make it go directionally is if you had the kind of device where
by
you're
spinning it.
using a spinning sound, or well, sound that's pointed in a slight direction to
Yeah,
make
that
it go
makes
at an
sense.
angle. The best way would be to use a sufficiently loud noise that knocks the door down. At which point, though, I'm not
Which
sure
point you
how
could just
loud a
kick the
noise
door
would
down.
be required. To be honest, I imagine it would be a lot, and therefore probably do some damage to you trying to do so.
Well, if you're just hitting the hinges,
If you're just hitting hinges, yeah, but I don't know like how.
of knocking the entire door down.
Well, I
think
don't
at
know
that
like how.
If we're
decibels
assuming it's a
translate
wooden
into
door,
words.
I feel like we could just kick it down.
True.
Do like
True.
was it The Shining? Is that the one?
I'm just
No.
seeing like how much force there is in. What I really need to find is like
It's like
shockwave.
Tensile
Calculation.
strength a door has.
Tensile strength of a door compared to shockwave of various sounds.
What's the tensile strength of a door? I just wrote tensile strength. Thanks. Isn't it a gag that the sonic screwdriver does not work on wood? Yeah, I think it's a whole thing that it doesn't work on.
But it has
Um,
unscrewed things, right? Like it can work on.
Yeah,
metal.
but that's not wood. It works on the
No.
lock because the lock's not wood.
maybe
it
it like
doesn't-
works on
It doesn't work on
magnetic things that can conduct electricity at least. Because
Probably.
you could actually
that's a
unscrew it
good
using
idea.
currents and electricity.
Yeah,
if you
which
generate
also
the right-
means magnets, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but if
Yeah.
you could impart a current through it at a certain point and manipulate currents around it or magnetic fields around it in some way, you could make it move through the eddy currents, which would be exciting, I guess. So yeah, that's an alternative way that sonic screwdriver could work, and probably a more efficient way.
Probably
that sonic-
easier and more efficient than just actually
Although
being
that-
sonic.
yeah,
It
but
wouldn't
then
be a
that-
sonic screwdriver anymore. It'd just be a magnetic
No.
screwdriver.
Yes, although it does have some kind of sort of sonic essence, as it's to do that you would have to somehow manipulate the magnetic fields around the object as well as in the actual object to create the currents that you need to make it move. So there is some science fiction parts in there that doesn't really work, but there's potential. It's not totally impossible.
So, the answer to that one, there is potential. It could
Yes, the answer I
be
would
done.
Yeah, the answer I would say is no, in terms of the one that you see in Doctor Who, but you could make one for each specific purpose that is shown for it using. So there you go. If you want to carry
Realistically,
around like
just use a.
yeah,
use a
carry
normal-
around a sonic Swiss Army knife and you might have a chance.
Hmm.
But in terms of a sonic screwdriver, afraid
Right.
probably.
F and Drake gamers. As Moodbusters would say, plausible. Yeah, exactly. Plausible. Right. Next question, also Greza. Greza posted a lot of good questions, actually. You have a portal gun. You place the blue portal in a static position, and you place the orange one on a moving platform. If you place a cube near the orange portal, what happens to the cube when it goes through the portal? Will it gain momentum or go through with no velocity? Now this is a question which uses portals, which, you know, aren't real yet, that I know of.
This is actually an interesting point, because I saw something recently about, I think it was Tom Scott, if that's his name. The guy who does interesting videos, the British guy who always does everything in one take. They did a video on teleportation power in superheroes. It might be Red Shirt Guy Taffy. But yeah, they did a video on superhero powers and specifically teleportation, where teleportation breaks the rules of the universe when they use it, because it breaks everything. Because you have to not only, because teleporting relative to Earth is one thing, but not teleporting relative to Earth means that you're taking into account the different amounts of speed that the Earth has at different points. So if you're at the North Pole, it's spinning, but obviously you're not moving very far in the spin, whereas on the equator, you're moving all the way around the Earth as it spins. So there's a big difference in the speed that you'd be going at either point. So if you're teleporting from one point to the other and are relatively stationary to the ground at each point, then you have changed your momentum while doing so, which means that you have control over energy as you're doing it. So in the example that's being given, where it's where that's happening, what has to happen is that the energy needed to change your momentum and velocity must come from the portals themselves. So effectively, you're creating or destroying energy using those portals, which isn't allowed. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, is one of the first rules that there is for physics. So
Thermodynamics? Is that thermodynamics?
I think it's thermodynamics.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the issue with the portals. It's breaking the rules of probably thermodynamics or some other rule of physics.
But yeah.
But yeah, there's a very interesting video by Tom Scott on it. I will see if I can find it while Redox tells you something.
Well, let's imagine portals do work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is here: if you place a cube near the orange portal, what happens to the cube when it goes through the portal? So Greza, I'm gonna need more information from you. Basically, is this the setup? Because I think the most important part of this is how is gravity affecting it, because that's the only way that's moving it, right? So this one's on the floor, and this one's on like a wall, or just, well, it's gonna depend how this one's turned, first of all. Because, yeah, there's some portal rules that we need to, the panel heads towards the cube. Oh, do you mean like?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wait.
okay.
I think I got it. The orange portal's also horizontal, or also vertical, but it's on a panel that's gonna like consume the cube. That makes sense.
Yeah, there's one portal that's moving.
There. I see. Okay. So, the portal's moving around the cube, but since the other side of the portal is static, if we're taking this as if I would say since portals use the what the fuck was it? What am I trying to say? Portals use the velocity, they keep the velocity, right, when you go through them. So, I'm assuming, because only one of them is moving, when it's in this universe, because, like, let's say they're in a different universe. they could be in the same one, but they're sufficiently apart enough that they're just in a different space, right? We could say in this universe, this portal is moving towards the cube, but that doesn't really matter because this one's stationary, so once it's going through, like, let's assume the portal's like halfway through, right? Assume the portal's halfway through. Yeah, I'm just doing my take on it. I don't know, there's no real answer to this because portals do not exist. The problem is portals are weird. This is how I would think about it. It's going through, right? So the portal's halfway through. The cube's halfway through. Because of relativity, it doesn't really matter if we're looking at a reference system that has the portal moving towards the cube or the cube towards the portal. It's the same thing. So we might as well just say, this cube's moving towards the portal, so it has a speed, and that way both our portals are not moving, right? So the cube will come out of this portal at that same speed.
Yeah. I mean, my view on this is that effectively it has to be moving to come out of the blue portal, because otherwise, if the orange portal goes over it, it's just being squashed into a flat thing. So whatever happens, you could say that the energy it's getting moving out of the blue portal is from all of the bits behind it pushing the front of it to make it continue forwards. So that is, and if it's in space, then that momentum isn't going to go away once it gets it. So it's just going to keep going at the speed that the portal went over it. And the energy that it's getting is from itself pushing itself in the so-called entering of the new universe, as you've put it. Which is, I think, a fair way of saying it, because portals... I mean, I've opened up the Wikipedia page for wormholes because it's the kind of tangent where this goes on. But yeah, those are entirely speculative. And also very hard to visualize as well, because unfortunately, it's a 4-dimensional thing, and we don't have that. So, you know, it's awkward. Like, we don't really know how a wormhole would work. Or rather, they are theoretically possible, but what does that mean? So, you know, portals don't exist. So it's a question that already violates some rules that we have.
Yeah.
And also, but if it were to work in the way that is described, I would say that it has to come out with the extra momentum that it gains from going through.
Either way, if it's this way or the way you're saying it's pushing it, it would have to come out with some speed. Whichever reason there is for it, there is no way, because what we know is the whole cube would come through. Right?
Yeah.
So, because the entire cube comes through as a complete object and not as a squished, like, fucking wafer, it has to go through with some velocity. So in some way, compared to the rest of the universe and the rest of this universe, the cube has gained momentum.
I'm just thinking, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I said it would come out of the blue one. I'm thinking now, maybe it would get stuck at the middle point between them. If the two portals are having the same influence on how it's coming through, then, and they're both, for example, pushing it out of the other one. No, because the momentum it has going in is the relative momentum it has to the orange portal, which is the one moving, so it would come out the blue, because it doesn't have anything pushing it the other way.
Yeah, the blue one is not moving. If the blue one was moving in the other direction, well, if the blue one's also moving in this direction, I think that's when it would do that, right? No, wait, sorry. If the blue one's moving in the opposite direction,
yeah, the opposite direction.
it would be like it just move along with it, kind of.
Yeah, half in, half out. Because that way, I think you could say that energy is conserved, because the net momentum of that object is still 0. If you've got half in one end going one way and half in the other end going the other way, you have that as quite a nice thing. So that could work. Well, I say could work. You know what I mean?
It could work if portals would work, and you know, there's a lot of things that need to be solved before this could work. But yes,
Yeah.
it would gain momentum. Well, in some ways it wouldn't gain momentum because if you look at it relatively, the cube always had that momentum compared to the portal, right? So it's relative, but I think it has to come out with some velocity either way. Yeah, that's a really interesting question. And like Wheat says, we could go into wormholes, but I know absolutely nothing about wormholes. I don't think Wheat does too much.
Not really, no. I only know what is on the Wikipedia page, and by know what's on the Wikipedia page, I mean where I've gotten to in the time I've been able to read since we started this conversation.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting stuff on that though. There's that theoretically a traversable wormhole on a very small scale could be maintained without exotic matter such as dark energy and stuff. So yeah, that's just got me thinking. I wonder if there's a link between that and quantum tunneling. But we'll ignore that because I have no idea, and neither do you. And I doubt anyone else here does either. Anyway.
So, we've got a couple questions from Zephyr next. Before that, though, let's read what people are saying. It came out the portal at the speed it went in minus the energy needed to pass through the portal itself, so it's going slow enough it could technically be destroyed in the portal. Maybe?
No. It takes energy to destroy. The thing is that the portal itself is breaking the rules, so to try and bend the rest of the rules to try and make up for that isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Redox streams? Is that true?
What else
Isaac.
did we
Follow
get
you,
there?
Redox.
Sean.
Thing is, if the... What the fuck?
Um,
How did I just pronounce that? Wait, sorry, I want to listen to that again. What?
Wait, Redox streams?
I'm
Is
not
that
gonna hear
true?
it.
I'm gonna follow you, Redox.
Sean.
Sean, what? Okay, sure. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Isaac. Sean.
So the portal as it does to the portal. If the cube is standing still and the portal is moving, okay, does the cube have the same relative velocity to the things on the other side of the portal? Again, once it goes through the portal, yes, but that's because it's broken things. Again, that's
Yeah, it's because going through the portal is already an illegal move.
yeah.
In the
on the
laws
chessboard
of physics
the
that we have
universe.
right now, that's already an illegal move. So,
So yeah.
yeah.
If
and
we did
yeah,
a
like
cube,
Drake
yeah,
said, if we
Yeah.
let a cube fall through 2 portals forever, that I guess that would be infinite energy.
yeah.
But I mean,
Again, that's why
Yeah.
it's broken.
yeah.
Creating things from nothing. Yeah, like I said, that video I posted is very interesting and discusses this topic in much the same way. It talks about free energy. It talks about the issue of relativity in terms of momentum and stuff like that. So yeah, take a look at it. Anyway, what is a cat?
Questions from Zephyr. What is a cat? A cat is. Let me just pull up. Oh, I've closed the fucking thing. Wait. Give me 2 seconds. Why is the top result when I look up cat not the Wikipedia page for cat? Okay, there we go. Cat. The cat, Felis catus, is a domestic species of small carnivorous mammal. It's the only domesticated species in the family Felidae, and is often referred to as a domestic cat, to distinguish it from wild members of the family. There you go. Does that answer your question? Zephyr? I hope it does. Other words to describe a cat are cute, lovely, incredible, awesome. There you go.
I have nothing to add.
From the perspective of the second portal, the cube is actually falling with negative energy that cancels out with the positive potential from the first portal.
No.
How would it be falling with negative energy? It's... What?
Because it's not in relation Because yes, from the perspective of that portal, as the cube comes through it, it's moving with energy. But before it goes into the portal, they're both stationary, so they have the same energy. And then when it comes out, it gets more. It's not in relation to the portals themselves that it's the issue. It's relation to the universe as a whole. You can't just look at it from the point of view of the two objects which are already breaking everything.
Yeah.
It goes from having no momentum through space-time to having some, which is wrong, unless there's been a force imparted upon it, which must come from the portals. In which case, where did the portals get its energy from? You would have to have
Good
taken
question.
it from somewhere.
Yeah. Very good
Like
question.
maybe
Where
there's
do the
something
portals
between
go
the
through?
portals giving everything a push.
Mm,
That
maybe,
could work.
Maybe there's some kind of
If you
interdimensional.
if you invent limbo,
If you invent, I think it's already been invented.
it invent the regions between space-time. That's kind of what I say. It's kind of what wormholes do. They have a traversable area between them.
Oh, it's been invented many times. Even there's films, games, literature. Go, songs. Many limbos. Wait, they've all been invented. There you go. Anyway. Was a cat? I think we've done that. Was a cat? Done.
Go for it, Isaac. We are open to interruptions.
I have a question also. Yeah, go. Yeah. Before
Unless
we do
it's
another one.
completely separate, in which case, put it in the Discord.
Yes. Yeah. If it's about the portal thing, feel free to ask it now. If you have any more questions, otherwise we'll be going to magnets. Oh god. Magnets.
Yeah.
We're all waiting for you, Isaac. Now, if you're not gonna put something quickly, everyone's gonna be very, very disappointed in. But yeah. Not me, just opening wikipedia.org/magnet to remember how magnets work.
Go to the page for ferromagnetism, because that's what they'll most likely be talking about.
That's easier to explain as well.
Sorry. Welcome to Redox and Wheat. Use Wikipedia.
There's a stable with horses, but then there's an earthquake and it becomes shaky or you fall apart. Is it still a stable? I hate you, Isaac. But yes, it is. Well, it depends for how long it stands. As soon as it breaks, it's not a stable anymore, is it? It's debris.
As soon as it no longer functions as a stable. This is a very deep philosophical question you've asked here.
Yeah,
Isaac.
when is a stable not a stable anymore?
Yeah.
When it's a jar. Wait, no, that's a different question. M. E. Me. Are you drunk already? You've only just gotten the thing open.
I've not had time.
Oh no. But yes, it would be less stable because it would break down and it wouldn't be a stable anymore. There you go. How do magnets work?
Stable. If they continue to use the rubble as a stable, it would still be a stable.
This is true, but well, does it become a stable from using it as a? This is philosophical questions again. Does it become a stable by using it as a stable, or does it become a stable by being good at being a stable? If that makes any sense.
Is a makeshift stable a stable? Is what makes a stable the purpose of it being a stable,
Or the
is
horse
a
in it?
stable what it being used as a stable? If you use something as a stable, if its purpose wasn't to be a stable, is it a stable?
Yeah, it reminds me of what's his name? Theseus. That's it, Theseus. Yeah. So if if you have a boat, a ship, it's a large ship, and Theseus, he's got a ship, and he's going and he's doing things, and he's going one way, he's coming back.
But
And,
that's slightly
there's some damages to his ship. He needs to repair it. Okay, so we're gonna replace the entire upper deck with new planks and shit. Okay, at what point does it stop being the same ship? Does it become a different?
Yeah,
ship?
but that's different though, because that's
It's
always
different
a ship.
because it's always gonna be a ship.
This is
But,
the
okay, but
question.
what if the wood of the ship that they used is then turned into an axe, which arguably is an easier metaphor.
It's not a
And,
ship anymore.
Yeah, it's not a ship, but it was the wood from the.
It's now the axe of Theseus, I
Well,
suppose.
unless he doesn't own it.
No.
But then we've got to go into ownership and
Yeah.
things like that, and let's not do philosophy today.
Philosophy. is
Philosophy, it's I really like listening to philosophy, but often I'm like, no, you're just wrong. That's just a stupid question.
No, it
For,
just
like,
doesn't
half of-
matter.
Yeah, I feel like half of
Because
it,
when a
I'm like,
stable becomes
no.
a stable, it either is or it isn't.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Magnets.
magnets. How do magnets work? So,
Well, it's to do with what is it? Is it free electrons? I think it's free electrons.
Well, just free charge, right?
Yeah, free charge, free electrons, free whatever. Free charge within objects, which can be manipulated by magnetic fields. As I was kind of mentioning earlier with the sonic screwdriver using electromagnetism, sort of. Well, I say electromagnetism as if they're two separate things. They're not. Electromagnetism is the same.
Yeah,
Electricity
electromagnetism
and
is one.
magnetism can't be separated.
Yeah, they're connected.
Always kind of the same thing. So what you have within magnetic materials is this kind of very it's atomic scale charge that's going through it as kind of like flowing between the linked atoms, which when you visualize it as a school child, you see it as here's your atoms and here's a load of electrons going around it. And yes, that
So-
sort of happens, although it's a lot more random.
Okay, so to really explain this, we need to start with, first of all,
things are made of atoms.
Yeah, everyone knows. I'm assuming people know what atoms are. I'm assuming people know, kind of like the basic idea of atoms. They know you've got positive, you've got negative charges. Sometimes you've got certain atoms, like a classic example of a not neutrally charged atom is the hydrogen atom, right? Oh my god, why am I drawing green? What are the colors they usually use? Those like
Black
red.
for everything. I
um,
don't know, like red
think I've
for
done it
protons,
the wrong
blue
way
for
around.
neutrons.
well, that's
and
not
green for
even what I'm talking about.
Sure, whatever.
It's just you'll have inverse polarity of the neutron flow is bollocks. Yeah, because neutrons don't flow. Neutrons aren't charged, so neutrons literally don't have a flow. Atoms are made of protons, neutrons at a core, and then you'll have electrons kind of like flying around it, right? Electrons are charged negatively, protons are charged positively, neutrons are charged not at all. So you'll have molecules like hydrogen, which is H2O, will be like HH and then
It's
O
just
over
H2.
here.
You
Yeah,
make
sorry,
water.
I'm talking about water. Yeah, I'm just a pig. That will be. I'm not entirely sure anymore, but I'm pretty. I think oxygen has a stronger negative charge maybe, than combined hydrogen. So this atom will have like a a direction.
Well,
And that-
it's to do with how the electrons arrange themselves. Because you remember electron shells, basically.
Yeah.
The hydrogen replaces things on both ends, but then you have an uneven number of electrons around the oxygen, essentially, and they form up on one side, and they repel, which makes it bend. Or is it attract and makes it bend? Probably attracts and makes it bend. But either way,
Alright, okay,
on one
sure.
side, it pulls it or pushes it to bend.
Yeah. So you have basically the important part is you'll have a more positively charged side and a more negatively charged side. I looked at that the wrong way. Now so hydrogen will then form bonds and stuff, and then that will make not hydrogen, water atoms, molecules will form bonds, and that will make water, and that's how we have flowing water, and that's why you can. That's why water is also affected by magnetism. But in metals, which is what we're looking at, well, not specifically metal, but ferro magnetic things. Basically, all the atoms are all like lined up, usually, right? And there's like tons of
Not in that way, Tafki.
No, water doesn't have a flow because of magnets. Water flows because of
It's a liquid.
it's
But
because
we're
it's a
talking
liquid. But
yeah,
you
we're
can
talking about the flow
affect
of
water
charge.
with magnets, which is really interesting. You should you know what you should do? You should interesting experiment you should try, which is really easy to try. Turn a tap on really slowly, so that it's not like a really strong flow, but like a really slow, just like, you know, you've got like a steady stream, you know, but it's not like a hard stream. Get a a comb or something, I think should work. Get a fleece or some kind of wool thing. Rub the comb so that you generate static electricity, and then you should hold the comb next to the water and see what happens, because the water is gonna move, basically, which is really interesting and proves that hydrogen is a dipole atom.
Dipolar
molecule.
thing.
Bipolar, basically.
Voki talking about surface tension now. You know what? I don't know off the top of my head where surface tension comes from. I'm not sure what force that is. Surface tension. Blah blah blah.
I mean, half of it is just also me trying to translate things into English that I learned in Dutch. What would happen if I did that in Flint? What do you mean in Flint? What do you mean by that? Yeah, honestly, go and try it. It's really cool. It should probably work with pith if you really want to, Isaac. I'm learning stuff and I don't like it. That's what we're here for. Surface tension, I think,
It's to do with how much the molecules of each thing attract each other. So most liquids, the molecules attract each other stronger than they do any other liquid, so they stick together. And because essentially the stronger one determines what happens, they will always be separated. So water is more attracted. It's kind of electrical, but it's more intermolecular molecular attraction rather than in the same way. So it is affected by charge, but not entirely. So the water molecules in the example being given, if say you have a drop of water falling through the air, are attracting each other stronger than the water molecules are attracting the air. If you had, say, a drop of oil going through water, the oil drops, well, they float, so that's a terrible example.
had a drop of water going through
mercury,
oil.
Sorry.
Oh,
Let's go with a drop of mercury going through water, then that would stick together within the water because its surface tension is strong. Good.
And Flint,
So-
Michigan, because they have water storage and there's a video somewhere, like fire comes out the tap. Jesus Christ. That doesn't sound very good for you. I wouldn't drink that. all I'm saying. And the ones at the surface aren't surrounded by water molecules, so they're more attracted to the ones below it. Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, if you're asking why water stays as a flat surface on when you're putting it down, it's gravity. But the interesting way to think about surface tension is why, like it's more interesting when you look at like droplets and stuff, like one droplet on a table, why water stays in like a perfect little sphere, kind of. Well, it's not a perfect sphere. It would be a perfect sphere in space, but it's not a perfect sphere because it's pulled down by gravity a bit. And that is because of the surface tension of the water staying together more than it like spreading out on the table. Whereas if you would use some kind of oils and stuff, usually they have worse surface tensions, and they just spread out way more. Which is so yeah. Well, it depends what kind of oils. Some have way stronger as well.
Yeah.
But it's just really interesting to look at like droplets when you think about it that way, and you can learn a lot about shut the fuck up, Wise.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot about just a liquid by looking at a droplet.
Yeah, it also makes water droplets terrible for tiny creatures because they can't overpower the surface tension to get back out if they get stuck in one.
On the other hand, it makes water droplets really cool because there's like tiny bugs that are tiny enough to literally just stand on the water.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you have a lot of water, but also if they were to go into that water.
Yeah. If they were to go into it, they would be fucked.
Yeah. In the same way that they can stand on top of it, they would get stuck in it. But yeah, it's a nice little property of it there. So don't be small. That's my advice. Unlucky Redox. What's the next question?
Wait, when I was a kid, like 8, I spent several minutes trying to find a point of surface tension in the gravy on my plate with my fork. Apparently everyone else was just staring at me wondering what I was doing. It's interesting. It's interesting, yeah. I don't know what kind of surface tension gravy has. Anyway, in a magnet, let's go back to magnets. We haven't really explained that. In a magnet, there's a lot of dipolar parts, basically. Right? There's a lot of tiny dipolar parts. We draw them usually with like an arrow, going from minus to plus. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, negative to positive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. And usually, so when you look at iron, they'll be like, they'll be like randomly scattered. The way they're turned. But when you then get another, well, I think with ferromagnets, if you have
I think it's that when you have a lot of it, you will have the random things, but there will be a net direction where it is pointing within.
Yeah, I think the way this is just the way any magnetic material works, basically. But if you have an innate magnet, I'm thinking of like specifically electromagnetism. If you get a current through this, all these will align in the direction of the current. I think. Well,
it's variable. Like I had a module
it depends.
I can't remember what it was about. We was all talking.
Well, actually,
about
the way currents work, if you have an electric current that goes in a loop around it, there would be a magnetic force in that direction, a magnetic field in that direction, and that would cause all these dipoles to move in the same direction, which would then turn on this to be a magnet. And that's basically how like electric magnets work. The way how ferromagnets work is that they're also like randomly scattered, but most of them are already in one direction. So on the average, like in average, this would end up with a net force in that direction, a net magnetic field in that direction, meaning that it works as a magnet. And then you've got another metal, which is just randomly, for example, like a metal that would work with this, that has enough like dipoles to get attracted to it, and they'd turn like their dipoles would turn getting attracted to this one, and that's how magnets work.
Woohoo! Yeah, and they align with poles if you have two magnets because it's the lowest energy state that the two magnetic fields can align in, and that's how everything in the universe wants to end up, with as little energy as possible.
Just like me.
Just like all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much every diagram you'll see in high school will have had something wrong with it.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
Anytime you see a drawing of an electron, it should of an atom, sorry, it should come with a message saying atoms do not look like this.
Well, I mean, the thing is, atoms. It's very hard to really see what atoms look like. We have actually seen atoms.
Yeah, there's the kind of loopy electrons being drawn that you get these days. Which is
What do you mean loopy electrons?
as in they're drawn as like balloons around the nucleus.
Yeah,
rather
they're called what is it called?
I can't remember.
Fuck. But yeah,
Answers
you'd
in-
have
That's
like
because it's not one of
hydrogen,
your
which has
points.
they're distributions of chance basically of where the electron can be, because the thing is the electron could be everywhere, but certain elements have can make certain bonds, and then if you have like, I don't know, some element, I think maybe iodine has it, I don't know. And then you'd have like this kind of thing, and then they would form a kind of bond like this, where the chance of finding the electron is the highest in this area. But technically, there is a chance that the electrons could be anywhere else. But this is the average area of the electron. But the way they fucking calculate this is very weird quantum mechanics and statistics and shit, which we're not getting into. But
Yeah. But even I never learned.
For the what you need to know, basically, electrons, tiny little particles, which are negatively charged, that can move around, and that can form. They like to form pairs, and that's like all you really need to know for most of the things you'll be wondering, I think.
Yeah. Well, we have a great new question now.
The
Why
things in the
matter
middle,
though?
everything's just. Yeah. Why matter though? That. I don't
Can
know
be
how
interpreted
to,
in many different ways. But
don't know how to
essentially,
answer that.
matter is a very stable form of energy. So it's just useful for it to be in that form. It's stable and low energy, non-reactive, really, on the large scale of things, unless we make it do something. So it's very, very nice, very easy, very
Enjoy your food,
stable,
Jakey.
and that's why the universe makes it. Yep, enjoy food, Jakey. Take the hydrogen example, for instance. Hydrogen forms hydrogen molecules, H2, because it's more stable than H1, and because it's better charged as well. But it's generally
yeah.
because it's more stable. The
Yeah,
charge is
it's
attracted
more
to
stable
it, but it's
because
more
of the
stable.
charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
And
reasons
ditto
that make matter more stable in various different ways, but chief among
Just
them is
the
that
general
it's
rule
like
of the
this.
universe is I want
it's
to be
lazy,
more stable as possible, and like the lowest amount of energy. I want to get rid of my energy any way I can, and I want to not have to move or do anything as much, and I want to be stable, so if anyone touches me, I stay in this position. Right? That's generally what happens in most cases. And sometimes if you have enough energy, you can go up to another state which is less stable. For example, if you get pushed, if you push a ball up a hill, you can push it up there, but it's not very stable because it will roll off. If with the slightest breeze, the ball's gonna roll off down into the valley where it's way more stable. which is a really good way to think of potential energy. If you're on the hill, you've got high potential energy, you've got high energy, but you want to get rid of that energy. So if you roll down, you're more stable because you have lower energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just spent some time setting up a very beautiful image of the Earth. So, but yeah, it's gone great.
I'll see.
But yeah, that's why matter though.
That's why
That
matter
matter.
though. Here we go.
That
Thank you
matter.
for the questions, effort. We've got more by Greza next up.
Mm.
Let's
Well.
have a look.
Let's have a look.
Greza says Richard Dawkins claims to have seen dogs doing a 69. What's the worst lie you have told to impress people? I'm assuming those are connected. I'm not entirely sure. I think that might have just been a that's just
No,
there.
they're-
This
they're
is just a
connected.
fact.
Obviously,
And then-
saying that you've seen dogs doing a 69 is to impress people. Why else would you say that?
But is it a lie?
Well, apparently for Richard Dawkins,
Apparently. Yeah, not for
Greza
us
would know.
though.
Greza would know. Yeah, we've all seen that.
Yeah, we've all
Well, I
all seen it.
I haven't. I saw
Um,
it once and kicked them. But-
That's why. That's what kickstarted the hatred of dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
They were excluding me. What? Anyway.
so, okay. Yeah. What's the worst lie you've told to impress people?
I don't actually know.
I have no idea either.
It's not really something that is common, or at least certainly hasn't been common since I became an adult. Maybe like when I was 10 or so, there was something. My mum might have a good answer to this question, but I don't
Is
know.
your mum in chat? Let's
She
see.
was. She was.
Um,
Mum, what's the worst lie I ever told to impress you? And we'll find out. In the meantime, you can answer it.
I don't know. I feel like probably my age on the internet or something. I
Oh,
probably
yes,
said,
my
"Oh,
mum's
I'm
right,
like
it's the-
30" at some point because I thought that was cool. Whereas I now
My-
know, the older
My
you
mum's
are,
right. It's the invisible hair for me.
Oh yeah, what you said last week or something.
Yeah, that's the worst lie I've ever told to impress. Yeah, when I thought my mum's memory of my life would go a long way back, I was obviously wrong. But, you know, I'll take the
Yeah.
invisible hair.
It's better than some childhood stories probably.
Probably.
There we go. I hope that answers your question, Greza.
Yeah.
What's the worst misconception about your subject or field that is not true? Any misconceptions about physics? What are the worst misconceptions about physics?
I mean, the one that you see a lot of is theory. The misunderstanding of the word theory that goes on in the world. But that's like not massive these days, I don't think. I think people at least
Yeah, I
don't
really
bring
know
it
what
up
you mean.
anymore.
What? Explain it
Like
to me.
people take the word theory from science to mean it's just what they think's happening. They don't know. Rather than scientific theory being something that's been backed up by a lot of evidence and stuff. You lied about feeling ill so you could get out of tennis camp. Thanks, Mum. I didn't mean for you to actually answer that, but you know.
It's too late.
Take
Oh
it.
yeah, please go on, please.
No,
I'd
no,
love
no,
to,
no,
I'd
we've had
love to
enough.
hear more.
I will time you out, Mum.
Don't time out your mum.
I
What do you
will
mean?
do it.
You can't do
We don't
that.
want to hear more. We've
See,
moved
we all
on.
we all want to hear more. You can come to my chat instead, Weeter's mum.
Why is
You were safe in
my mum
here.
not a mod? Well, I think that's self-explanatory. Was that lie to impress my mum? That's a good point, Mum. You're just spreading vicious lies about me now. This is lies I've told
Yeah,
to
how
impress
is
somebody.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Who was
That's
I
a good
impressing by?
question. Yeah, who's being impressed by
doing that?
not going to tennis?
You haven't thought this through, Mum. You didn't think about the question.
Can't believe
Anyway.
it.
Yeah, that's the probably
Yeah,
worst
yeah.
misconception.
It's a good,
Um,
it's a good one. I can't really think of anything. I think that's just a general science misconception.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything specific right now.
No, because there's none I can really think of that are harmful apart from that one. Like, I think that's the key thing. Like, there's a lot of like there's common things that people don't understand, but
There's difference.
they're not, like,
There's difference not
misconceptions.
understanding and it
Yeah.
being a misconception. You know, just not
Yeah.
knowing how it works and like thinking it works in the way it doesn't. I guess is the difference, right?
Yeah,
I
like I
don't-
can't really think about things that are like commonly misconceived. Like sometimes, like black holes commonly have the same issue with what people think about them, but that isn't like massive and not really a surprise. So I'm not gonna like bang on about it as a misconception, but yeah.
The thing is, that's like
Wait, read off
concepts
stream,
that are
is
so
that true?
difficult that
I'm gonna follow you.
we don't even understand.
Look
really
at you
half the
cuties
time.
doing
but
science
but
things
it's
Redox
essentially
Stray
the
love.
differentiation between the event horizon and a black hole. So that is more
Yeah.
the misconception. Like not
I don't-
how a black hole works, but because that's go on, we've got no chance. But
Pop off my
Yeah.
leash. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know any other common misconceptions. So I think we're gonna say that's done. On to the next question.
Voki's
this is
just come
very
in with
important
me saying it's not massive about black holes and said it's not massive. I see what you did there. Very clever. Very clever.
Very important question by Wise here. I think we should all have a very important question. Think about this. Yeah, this is very important. This is very important. Who is Candace?
Greza then asks, if you were given unlimited funding, what one science project or
Wait,
experiment
you
would
can't
do
just
and why?
skip to the next question. We haven't answered this one, Wheat. Who
Go
is
on.
Candace?
I don't know. Okay, next
Yeah.
question.
Right, next
Uh,
question.
If you
I
were
think
given
she's
unlimited
I
funding-
think she hangs out with Joe if that answers your question. Wise, there you go.
You know, the only Candice I know is Candice Owens, and I don't think we want to talk about her. So
I don't know who that is.
no, better that way.
Who's Joe? Oh, he's just a guy I know. Zephyr. Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think you wouldn't know him.
No.
He likes Sawcon. That's where I met him. Anyway, if you were given
What's Sarkon?
Sawcon, oh, it's just this, you know.
Sarkon these nuts.
Oh, got him. Okay.
Got him.
Anyway, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're given unlimited funding, what one science project experiment would you do and why? What? Well,
I do have an answer to this, but I think I only have that answer because there's a follow-up question to this later on, which is the lack of ethical considerations.
yeah. I'll get
In terms
that
of one where I have ethical considerations, I will need to think a bit more.
Oh, come on.
Revive extinct animals from Voki. That's actually very dangerous.
Oh, it's fine. We're making.
That's actually very dangerous. But we'll see. What would I like to do?
Yeah, reviving extinct animals probably wouldn't be the best idea because you'd fuck up the entire ecosystem of the planet. I mean, we've all seen Jurassic Park. Doesn't go well.
Yeah, nature finds a way to kill itself, and so
Can this breed more?
that is the
Find
opposite.
a partner
of
for that one
story.
frog species that only has one male left and his name's like Brian.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that would be nice.
Poor Brian.
Poor Brian.
Or Lucky Brian. Oh no!
Ken.
Oh, I see. Oh, sorry.
There's no. yeah.
I misunderstood. I misunderstood.
So I don't know where you're gonna find it if he's the only.
No, I read it as the only male left, rather than the only frog of that species left. And I was like,
Yeah.
well,
Oh
he's
yeah.
got loads of women to choose
yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Oh, Mum's out here doxing us again. Good job, Mum.
Your Gweet's grandfather's called Brian. There you go.
Can't believe it.
There you go, doxed.
Yep.
How to make Jurassic Park. We just went over this, Grant. That's not a good idea.
I don't know. I want to throw people. That's not what my thing is. I am curious, but well, we kind of know. That's the problem. Oh no, actually into it. Ooh.
What are you talking about?
No,
Sorry?
no, we kind of know. What Chef said. Wheat wants to throw people in a black hole and see what happens.
Oh. Well, yeah, it would be nice, but the problem is it's hard to. We can't really see what happens. That's the problem.
No, but also there isn't nothing to see.
Well, yeah, you can look at
Presumably.
the.
Based on what we understand, at least, like you go in and you go in, but once you're in, the light ahead of you is moving faster than you, and you're moving faster than the light behind you, so you will see nothing until you die. Rip. Rip.
Turn people into spaghetti. Yeah, very, very true. Foster reforestation. Yeah, probably. I think probably one of the if we are thinking about the more ethical considerations, and just I think generally a good idea, putting a lot of money into saving the planet, maybe. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
You see,
no?
interestingly,
Somehow,
I
not
had something
fucking up
like
the
that
planet.
in my lack of ethical consideration thing, because my lack of ethical consideration was like, what if we use the money that is available and isn't being used for this kind of thing to sort out a lot of the problems that the world has in terms of societal, for instance, the food and infrastructure in Africa situation for certain countries there. Is it ethical? Would it be ethical to save people? Would we do more harm than good by
Sorry,
doing
just
that?
stopped. We're going into philosophy again.
Yeah. Sometimes you need Batman to make the decisions that no one else can. That's not Batman. I don't know who's that. Who's the one who does that? I can't remember. But
I'm not entirely sure.
yeah, something like that. Something like that. Shall I read this as Batman, even though it's clearly a Dalek
No, it's
quote?
it's Batman.
To hold in my hand a capsule that contains such power.
Well, read the first
No.
part as well. It's the
Oh,
one.
is it both?
Yeah,
Is it all
yeah,
one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alfred, I'd create a virus in my laboratory. Something contagious and infectious that killed on contact. A virus that would destroy all other forms of life and allow its use. To hold in my hand a capsule that claims such power. To know that life and death on such a scale was my choice. To know that the tiny pressure of my thumb, enough to break the glass, would end everything. Yes, I would do it. That power would set me up above the gods. And through the Daleks, I shall have that power.
Yep.
Alfred, don't pretend you don't love it.
What do you mean, Alfred? I'm not Alfred, you fuck.
Alfred.
Master Wayne. Oh, Alf. I'm not Alf, nor am I am Red. But let's. Okay. Anyway, well, yeah. So probably some sort of saving of the planet. I think it comes down to the same idea, right? Either you use the money to save the planet, or use the money to save the other thing, to do the other thing. You know?
You see how efficiently you
but
can
if
kill
you-
the planet.
No, I mean like, okay, like for
You know
example,
what,
you're
actually,
using the money to save the
let's
planet.
go mad. Let's go mad.
Yeah,
Let's build a
okay.
Dyson sphere. Let's do it. Let's see if we can do it.
True.
Because conceptually, possible. We know how we do it. It's just a case of getting it started. So,
Okay,
you know,
so
let's
here's
do
the
that.
problem. What about... Okay, so funding is one part. Second part is resources.
Asteroids.
Okay. And we... Yeah, okay. Sure.
Asteroids. What is a Dyson sphere?
Why is Dyson Sphere
Super.
well?
A Dyson sphere is a hypothetical megastructure that you would build around the sun or around any star.
Oh,
And
let's
you could
pretend.
extract all the energy that the star emits
You
and
do.
use that
Yes, you-
to power everything.
Make an omelette. There you go. You'd
There
build.
you go. A Dyson
a
sphere
giant-
is like a fried egg.
Exactly.
Yes, but not like massive amounts. You can set up a kind of self-replicating machines, which you can program easily enough. They would go extract materials to build more of themselves, extract materials to build more of themselves, and grow and grow and grow like that, and then gather enough materials to build the Dyson sphere. I make it sound very simple.
It
There's
would not be
estimates on
very
how long it
simple,
would
but
take.
the fact that
And
we
it's
have
not that long.
unlimited funding means that we've got unlimited time to do this as well, and we can we can
Because the resources
in the end it would
space
work.
are near limitless. The issue is
Yeah.
just getting them, which is where the funding comes in.
Yeah, basically you'd put an entire thing around it, harnessing all the energy of the sun or any star. We're not there yet, Chef. We're still here. We're getting
Yeah.
to the vegetable part.
Yeah, well, there's actually a question between the two that we've
Yeah,
jumped over.
I've put them
well.
together because it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Would
Would the unlimited funding crash the economy? Probably. I don't know
That's
enough
not our
about it.
concern. I imagine the unlimited power that we will wield after.
Which would probably also crash the economy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd have a little cable that has all the power in it.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
I think you beam it back.
No, it's like just one giant cable in space. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's that's the idea of a Dyson sphere. It's effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Would it be very ethical? Well,
I don't think there's anything
okay.
unethical about
Imagine
doing
we're
it.
building a Dyson. What would happen to the Earth if we build Dyson sphere? Because we are removing all the light.
No, you
So are
leave
we
gaps.
just then? But
You leave gaps.
you leave just like one little window towards
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
But,
all you
well,
need
you
do
need
is
like
make
one
the-
band, right, of window. We
Well-
can go around it.
I think that for the drawing that you've done, very much not to scale. So the Dyson sphere is a lot wider than the sun. So you just basically have shifting panels within it that you can move out of the way to make sure it's or you can put it in orbit in such a way that it's constantly pointed at the sun. What material can you
Yeah,
use
it
that
could just be
wouldn't
like a half Dyson sphere, I guess.
Yeah. The thing is, Steve,
Or
I'm
more.
not sure quite what the internals of it are made of. Like, it can just be metal, and that's fine, but I think you make it reflective in such a way where you can basically get a beam of all of the energy that you're bouncing around in there to fire that energy to the Earth. For it to-
Essentially, you're building a laser.
yeah, you're basically building a rod on top of the Earth and being like, energy, please, strike me, and it strikes you, and then you have energy.
But yeah, this is basically how lasers work, right?
Yeah.
What you just said. A laser, or wait, let me remember. Light amplifying something. That's what laser stands for. It's an acronym, if you didn't know. I have drawn the Death Star, it's true. Anyway, sensible Irish world, exactly, that's it. How laser works is you'd have a little box. You'd have a light beam going in here, right? And it would bounce around very, very many times. And you'd keep shooting light beams in there, and you keep all the earlier ones still in there, so that they're all in phase, like we spoke about earlier with the frequencies. They're all in phase, so together they amplify each other and they become larger and larger and stronger, which makes the light stronger. So you keep it together until finally you open it, basically, and then pew, you shoot one really strong laser. basically kind of how that's the basic principle behind lasers, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, or at least this particular method of energy transferring lasers. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think
Well,
that's
well,
the
not
idea of
every
laser.
laser has to amplify all the time within itself. Like, yes, it does, because otherwise it wouldn't work.
Well, the A in laser stands for amplified. I don't think it would. I don't think it wouldn't. I don't think it would be a laser if it wasn't.
Okay, fine. I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
What is a laser? Well, this is a laser. It's
Yeah.
If you
It's any
we'd
narrow.
have to talk about light, basically. A laser is yeah. You could think about it as one
Radiation, I
singular.
say, rather than light. Although it's the same thing.
Yeah, light is a wave, but whatever. It's usually you speak about light, but it doesn't really matter. A laser is laser is an acronym. An acronym. I'm gonna look it up because I don't remember exactly. It's an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation.
Fuck you.
Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Yeah, there you go. We have to talk about light. Usually, anything, you've got sources of light, like the sun, that send out light beams in every direction at all times, right? And those reflect off objects that also send off things in all directions. Really cool, really fun, very, very pog. Okay? And those are all going in different directions, those waves, because light is a wave. For now, it's a wave. That's all we need to know. A laser makes light go only in this direction instead of all of the other directions. That's it. That's the difference between a laser and normal light. Bam.
Bam.
There you go.
Yeah, because you can get naturally occurring lasers in quotations. So yeah, anything that's a tight beam of either particles or waves can be called a laser.
Yeah, I think originally is specifically this what I drew, and then the term kind of broadened up, meaning what you said.
Shall we move on to vegetables?
Yeah. Yeah, it's genuinely a really interesting question actually, because it is. At first glance, it's like, oh, funny. Why do vegetables put effort into tasting good? But it is a really interesting question, because why do they taste good?
So this is one that I looked at as well before.
Okay.
And I've not looked up an answer to it, but I've thought about it, and I've thought, surely it's because we made them taste good over time. Selective breeding of plants. We breeded more of them if they tasted good, and thought, oh look, we have elite plants here. I'm going to build more of these.
Well, first of all, we have to define what tastes good, right? There we go. Zephyrs asking it right now. What means
perfect.
tasting good? Well, usually in plants and stuff, what tastes good? Sugar and things we need, right? Because we've evolved to enjoy and like the foods we need. Right? So usually it will be things like sugars, carbohydrates, lipids, all the things a human body needs to survive, that we need to get from our food, will usually taste good. That's also the reason why things that are poisonous usually taste worse. Things that are going off taste worse because it's the human body being evolved to know that that's not good for you, so you should be throwing up and getting it out of your system, literally. And yeah, like Vuki said. Why do I hate vegetables then? Who fucking knows? But then you can think of the opposite kind of things, like durians, which are like the most stinky fruit ever. Which, first of all, actually, I think it tastes quite nice. It just smells horribly. I'm not entirely sure why they smell bad. I'm not gonna lie.
No. No, maybe they want to be found. Oh my goodness, there's a durian around here. I can smell it. That kind of thing.
Maybe.
Attract a certain type of animals, that would do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe. Because I think what it smells like is, what I've heard it described as is like rotting corpse. Maybe it's looking for things like vultures. That kind of animal that would usually go, you know, like
I don't know, I've never smelled
fucking
it.
around
Maybe
in rotting corpses to
Yeah,
yeah, like scavengers that would scavenge around in it, and then because what a plant wants, right? What a plant wants is it wants to bear a fruit. In that fruit there will be a seed, or multiple seeds, or some kind of seed, usually. Otherwise, I think that is the definition of a fruit, actually. And that fruit will, well, you want it to be eaten by an animal usually. And then the animal, for example, you'd have what's a good example? Like an apple, right? Let's have an apple. This is definitely an apple. It's got some pits in the center. Let's imagine a fucking squirrel eats it. I don't know if squirrel eats apples. I don't care. It eats it. It eats the core of it, right? Because squirrels don't fucking care. Let's assume the cyanide in the apple cores isn't strong enough to kill the squirrel, and you know, the squirrel goes on its daily life. I draw a squirrel. It's a bit of a chunky squirrel. There you go. Goes on with its happy daily life.
I was thinking, which end's which?
It's clearly a squirrel. Anyway, and it's you know, it goes on, and then at a certain point, it needs to poop. Squirrels don't have a certain toilet that they go to, so they just fucking shit in the wild, as you do. And there will be the seeds in it, because they don't really get digested, so they'll be in the ground, and then there, a whole new apple tree can sprout, and that is the circle of tree life. So what a fruit wants to do is it wants to be nice, attractive for animals to be eaten and then be moved around, right? And then spread its seed, literally.
Yes, just like Jay.
There's a lot wrong with that sentence, but we're not going to unpack that right now.
Jay the pinecone, I need.
Yes, Jade a pinecone. Jade a pinecone. But yeah, so vegetables, most vegetables aren't actually the fruits, they're just a part of the plant. Why they taste good? Also, like selective breeding, like Wheat said, probably. Mostly because we made them taste good. We made them have interesting tastes. Yeah, fruits are a specific part of a plant. A vegetable is just, like, fruits are a very specific part of a plant. A vegetable can be any part of a plant, really. And yeah, like Voki says, onions, they're spicy, because the, you know, they don't want to be eaten. Things like chilies, for example, which I think are fruit. They do have little seeds in them, right? But they're really spicy. And I think that is because capsaicin, is that what it's called? Maybe? I don't know. Whatever is in it. They maybe I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, the thing that makes it spicy, basically, is it's basically something that will it will like fake heat in your mouth, and it's kind of like the opposite of what mint. There's something in mint that does.
I don't know anything about this.
Which is kind of like mint. There's something in mint, I can't remember the word for it. That will make it your mouth feel like cold. And I think this might be wrong. This is why we're called, I've already forgotten again, uncertainly accurate. I have no idea if this is true. Take this mental. That's the one. Thank you, chef. Basically, certain animals that it didn't want it to eat would be not like it. Basically, it only wants like smaller animals to eat it, so that they can't like digest the pits and like not shit them around, right? So I think it evolved a certain way that like the larger animals basically didn't like it. So it's spice, like tinier animals will have less problems with that kind of spice. This could be complete bullshit, but I feel like I've heard that before.
It could be that larger animals would have to eat the seeds, which is the spicy bit, if we're talking about chilies, whereas small animals would just like eat the bits they need. I don't know. That makes no sense because then they wouldn't take the seeds. Ignore that.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that drops the seed. The seeds get moved around by the wind, or just animals moving and stuff. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but it is interesting to think about things like that, like plants that try to defend themselves. But yeah, that's why flowers and fruits are usually very bright colors, because they want to be attractive for animals and they want to be spread, and that's why vegetables are usually not very bright and colorful, and usually just green, because they don't want to be, they really don't want to be eaten, you know, they're just part of the plant to make the fruit. Usually a vegetable, well, the vegetables we know won't have fruits, but their ancestors, what they're probably bred from, would have had fruits probably, but we've bred that out because we don't really want that. But yeah, really interesting. Also, interesting fact: bananas. The bananas we have are bred specifically not to have seeds, which means every banana you've eaten of a certain, like, if it's from the same kind of species, is actually a clone of, like, they're all clones, basically. Which is really interesting to think about.
A million more ready to go and a million more well underway.
Yeah, there you go. But that's really interesting when you think about it. Also, another fact, there was the taste, like the taste of bananas. If you have like sweets that taste like banana, they are
Banana clone flavored.
Actually, no, they are flavored like an older race of bananas. What's it called? Like an older breed of bananas.
Which is why
which
they
is
don't
now
taste like bananas.
Yeah, exactly. that doesn't taste like the bananas we have now because it's an older breed of bananas that doesn't exist anymore because it doesn't exist because there was a virus that spread in the bananas, and they just died out. Also, a similar thing is happening with with one of the bananas we have right now. So eat all the fucking bananas you can if you want to, because we might not have many left in the future. This is all true.
Yeah.
Well, mostly true, probably. But this is
the banana virus.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Cool. Our
Speaking of colors, tigers are bright orange because their prey doesn't eat orange things, so they haven't evolved the ability to see orange. We can't see them because we can see them because they're fruit colored. Yeah, exactly. Our eyes are evolved to see
threats.
To see certain colors. That's why we have 3 kind of color receptors, right? We have like red, green, blue. I think that's why we use those. Is that true? I don't
Something
remember.
like that. Sounds about right.
We I'm pretty sure we have 3 color receptors in our eyes.
Yeah.
And that's why we can see a certain part of the spectrum, of the like color spectrum. That's why we can only see some certain things. That is true. Should we talk about eyes? Because this is really interesting. I know we're not. I know you really want to talk about tachyons.
I do.
But I think eyes and the way we look at light and the non-visible part of the
well, there's a lot
electromagnetic
of,
spectrum is really interesting.
there's a lot of actually, I want to say almost philosophical stuff about light and eyes. Like, I think the question that gets asked a lot is, are the colors that we see the same colors for everyone else? Because we'd never know.
There's no way. The same thing with tastes. There's no way to know if we taste the same things as other people, and maybe this is why we don't like it. There's some things like, what's it called again? Coriander? I don't know what it's called. I think it's got multiple names in English, but whatever. Coriander, which is a genetic thing. Either it tastes like just coriander, which is just it's kind of boring, or it tastes like dish soap.
Yeah.
So, it's also used in a lot of beers, interestingly. So if you're drinking a beer and you're like, oh man, this beer literally tastes like I'm drinking dish soap, you might be drinking coriander, and you might just have that gen.
Someone just washed my glass. No, it's just got coriander in it.
That is, yeah. So maybe it's not.
And there are animals as well that have a lot more color receptors.
Really interesting.
Like
yes,
deep sea fish
like the mantis shrimp and deep sea things. It's really interesting how deep sea fish have more receptors. I guess it's because they can see more broader part of the spectrum like that. Because there's not much light that comes down there.
No,
right?
I think their vision expands into infrared or ultraviolet more. Because that light can travel better. Well, through most things. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's probably infrared that they're looking for. It might be ultraviolet.
Probably the one that's lower energy, right?
That would be ultraviolet then. Okay.
No, wouldn't it be?
No, infrared's higher because it's red.
No, but blue has higher energy. Right? Blue is the higher energy one.
Yes, you're right.
So it would be infrared.
Yeah.
Probably? I don't know. Who can ever be sure? This is me just speculating. I assume it would be lower energy because the lower energy things are the ones that would get there.
Yeah, they travel better through stuff. They're less likely to interact with something. Which is why radio waves are everywhere.
Jay, that's a very good point actually. Probably I don't know. I don't know if this is a thing. We've probably already tested it, but like those anglerfish, are they very deep? I don't know. But they probably
yeah, they're very deep.
Yeah, they probably do extrude some kind of infrared coloring, which is even more bright than what we see under there. But yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of beer is made with guts. What are you talking about? Most beer is made with grain, and then there's some yeast in it, which I guess could not be vegan if you think about it, because it's a bacteria. I don't know if that counts though. Other than that, I don't really know what else would be in beer that would make it non-vegan.
I imagine you couldn't go with bacteria, because I don't think extending into mushroom territory there.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep it that way. Nice work.
Right. Are we talking about eyes?
Eyes? Sure. Lenses. Let's do it.
I mean, like, specifically the build of eyes. Eyes, what's it called? Like, the way eyes work. More like the biology part.
The crossing over, the receptors, the blah blah blah.
I've got a little picture up of eyes. So,
short-sightedness.
Yeah, and like the other thing. So this is what eyes look like, right? You've got your retina over here at the back. There's like a lot of fluid in here, eye fluid. You've got your lens here. You've got your iris here. You've got a little cap.
Why is this the diagram that you went for?
It's literally the first one I could get a better one, like this one probably would be better. Here we go. Why is my music singing at me?
What? Look, no, you're just finding pictures of ill eyes.
Oh yeah, it's once again an ill eye. Listen, okay. What do I? I just looked up eye build because I couldn't think of a better.
Draw an eyeball looking to the side, and
Fine,
then
I'll
draw a
draw-
receptor at one end. It's
I'll
literally just draw a
draw-
circle.
I'll draw my own eyeball. This is my personal eyeball. So we've got an eyeball. We've got our little thing. We've got a lens in here. You've got your retina over here, and then like your eye, your optical nerve goes here, which breaks up your retina, which is interesting. BBC got you. There you go. Use this one. It's better than whatever the fuck I was drawing. There we go. Okay. I need to find another shadow. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. A boob from the side. Boobs from the side are actually quite different. Okay. I'll have you know. Interesting part. There's these two parts, which are really interesting, but we'll talk about it later. Your retina is the part that catches the light, right? The light will come into your eye. It will be bent by your lens to focus on I'm assuming like here somewhere. There's like a, well, not there, definitely not there. That's if you have a problem. That's why you wear glasses. Let's say it's like there. Who cares? Basically, the focal point of your lens, we'll have to go into lenses to really explain that, is right here, and that's why you can see your things sharp. This is the spot where if light hits there, that's where you can see sharp, right? Not the coding language.
Nice.
Nice. Color therapy is being researched because like certain colors physically make us better sometimes. Yeah, there's a lot of weird psychology parts. Like blue makes you feel calm, things like that. That's actually true. German Beer Association would like to have a word with you about your beer. Yeah, true, because it seems really fucked up. Right, in your eyes you have two. So in your retina you've got two kind of cells, right? You've got what they call cones and whatever. How do you call that? The other one?
What? Sorry, I was making my background nice
Rods, that's it. Rods. So you've got rods and cones in your eye. The rods of your eye, I'm pretty sure cones are color and rods are like movement vision, basically. So the rods in your eye will see they will look at movement. So for example, if someone's like, if I'm waving at you, this would be, you know, you'd catch this with your cones, with your rods even. If you're looking at an apple and it's red, it's a red apple, you'd see you would see a red apple, and the red light would be your cones would be sending a signal through your optical nerve to your brain saying this is red. Okay. Like Chef says, people who are colorblind or have some kind of problem with it, they will have a problem with their cones. There are people who have problems with like the rods in their eye. Sorry, I'm just moving because I'm fucking annoying. I'm not entirely sure what how that would affect you, but it is interesting. I might have to look it up. Wait, if you want to look it up, feel free to, I guess.
Fine. What that rod do?
Craft, have a good look. So yeah, in your eyes you have three kinds of cones. You have red cones, green cones, and blue cones. I think maybe it's different.
Rods are for peripheral vision and help you see in low light levels.
Yeah, basically they will mainly detect like movement and grayscale. Some interesting facts about this.
Why you see in black and white when it's dark, I guess. Because your cones do color. Ah.
Yeah, in the dark, your cones go kind of like they turn off so that your rods can focus more. And when there's light, when it's very bright, your rods will turn off a bit so that your cones can focus more. I'm pretty sure that's true. I'm not entirely sure if I remember that correctly. Either way, interesting parts about your retina. There are more cones in the center of where like most of the thing of your field of view basically. Than there are at the edge. So if you hold an object at the edge of your field of vision, for example, let's take this red pick, plastic thingy. If I hold it here and I look straight forward and I try to like don't look at it, but you're looking at the side, you can see there's something there, but you can't really see the color of it. So take a pencil. A good way of trying this is have a good night, Dan. A good way of trying this
is to have multiple different coloured plectrums and choose one at random from behind you.
Don't look
see
at
if
it.
you can tell what colour it is.
Yeah, generally.
Just
So
choosing
a
a
good
yellow
way,
one
if you have like
and
coloring pencils, right? They're usually like colored all the way. Grab one from the bag. You don't know which color it is, and hold it like really to the side of you, and see at which point you can actually notice which color it is. Because it's not when you can see it. You can see there's something there. You can't actually see the color of it, which is really interesting. So that's one really cool part of eye info. A second part, there's a little blind spot here called the blind spot. I think it's just that's what it's called.
Yes, it's the one labelled blind spot.
Yes. Or actually, it might be like yellow spot. I think the yellow, like that's a part of your eye. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's the part that's the best focus. Yeah, sorry. The yellow spot is a spot where it's mainly cones. So that's the part where you can see colors the best. Frith, how are you doing? Yeah, really, really cool. Cones, I'm just looking at it. It seems to be blue, green, or red. I've just looked at it. Here you go. So they're sensitive to blue, green, and red, and then like they form together to make.
Smoke rises
Bonnie?
from the mountain of doom.
How are you doing? Can we have a little shout out for
Hour
Bonnie?
grows late,
Bonnie?
and Gandalf the
Bonnie?
Grey rides to Isengard, seeking my
Something
counsel.
like that.
Yellow is the macula. The blind spot is literally.
My
red.
name is Redox, but you can call
Oh
me
yeah, you're right.
Redox.
You're right. You're
Thank you
right.
for following my channel.
dummy.
Listen, I don't listen to you. George is more smart than you. Be excellent to each other and
My
party
name
on,
is
dude.
Redox,
So
but
true.
you can
Thank
call
you for
me
the follows.
Redox.
Osco and
Thank you for
Evie,
following my
Evie,
channel.
EVCL? Who knows? We're talking about science. Yes, I was making a joke. Tafky, exactly. How are you all doing, everyone? I hope you had a good stream. You were playing Night of the Woods.
We can't find the blind
Yeah, we did speak about your question earlier about vegetables. You can come back to it if you
And
want
the other
to.
one.
Oh yeah, and the zero ethical. We actually just passed it. Science is all fake. Don't trust the word. So true. So true.
Very true.
There's a dude who's like known to go around the University of Antwerp, he's literally called like the Moon Dude. We'll know him as that, and he would talk about how he tried to like convince students the moon landing wasn't real, like physics students and stuff, which is interesting. Apparently faculty doesn't care that he's just running around and doing that.
No, I guess
But yeah.
I guess they don't see them as a threat.
Yeah, I don't think many people believe him. There you go. People just find him, see him as the weird person. Ever seen Space? Of course you haven't, because we made it up. True! But yeah, we're talking about eyes right now. You do have a sub, Sky. I think someone must have gifted you a sub at some point. Go. But yeah. Interesting facts. There's a blind spot right here, which is a bit to the... It would be to the inside of your view. So if you're looking with your right eye, it would be on the left side. I think this could be
Is
wrong.
that to help you ignore your nose?
No. The way you ignore your nose is literally your brain saying it's not there.
Who cares about this?
Which is really interesting. But there's a little blind spot there, which you can see if you How do you do it again? There's like if you draw like some dots on a paper, and you look at a certain one, you'll see that one of them is like not visible, basically. I don't know exactly how to do it again, but basically there is a blind spot, and your brain just kind of like fixes it, because our brains are really fucking smart and know how to fix your entire view so that it doesn't look weird and with holes in it. Yeah, we could just do that. George?
Oh, is this a
George?
BuzzFeed quiz?
George will know a lot about these things, I'm assuming, with their background of having to test people's eyes. Hope you have good food, Boney. Hope your stream was good, and I hope everyone who's here from Boney's stream I hope you'll go drink some water, get some food, go get some rest, go take a shit. I don't know, whatever you want to do. It can be exhausting watching a stream sometimes. I understand if you don't want to stay. If you do want to stay, we're talking about all kinds of science things. I hope you enjoy it. Google a color blind test as well. Would you want that? Chef? Yeah, your blind spot. Basically, you want to block off an eye. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's just literally this.
Oh
Here we
my
go.
goodness, I have a blind spot. It's here. I can't believe it. It's gone. Wow, what about my other eye?
Yeah. So
Is
what
it
you
in
want
the
to
same
do is
place?
you want to look at this.
It better be in the same place.
You want to make sure you're
I'll stay at
at
the
like
plus
the
sign.
right distance of it. Who cares? But like
Ow.
if you cover. Wait, which one is this?
Yeah, okay, they're equally distant from each other. That is interesting. I can't believe it. It disappears. And I move my head more to the side and it reappears.
Yeah.
Wow.
It probably would help with the glasses off, but also I don't think it matters.
Wow.
Yeah, your blind spot's still there. The glasses make the light focused on my eyes. In the end. Oh my god, Tafki. Things into your blind spot if you place dots correctly. But yeah, this is how you do it. You cover one eye, look at the circle, and see where the plus disappears. Basically, I'm too far away from it to actually do it. But draw this on a piece of paper, basically.
And headbutt it
Yes.
slowly.
I was also covering my right eye. I think this is made for left eye.
Well, it can be either. You just look at a different symbol.
Yeah, but it whatever. Doesn't matter. This is how you do it. It's really interesting. It's really cool. Okay. Get rid of blind spot is just where you, but yeah, it's literally where your optic nerve comes in. So the retina just kind of like isn't there, so it just can't catch light. Which is just a really simple and stupid thing, but that's just how it works. There you go. And
Yeah.
that's where you're...
Yeah, because the brain is filling in the gaps.
Oh yeah, for
Because it
sure.
wasn't blank, it was just the same color as the background. Like the same thing happens when apparently you move your eyes. While your eye is moving, you can't see, apparently. So your brain is filling in the
The
gaps.
way
that you wrote.
when you're moving, okay. So when you're just standing still, first of all, your eyes will not just be focused on one thing. If you look at my eyes, probably right now, my eyes are jumping around. Right, I'm looking at different things. Like focusing on one thing really takes effort. And if I'm just looking around, my eyes jump around constantly. But you don't notice your eyes like moving really quickly, right? That's because your brain is like making one big image out of it and showing that. If that makes any sense? I can go to like this. If you really want to look at my eyes, chat, like my eyes will like jump around, right? I'm like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So I will just like look around, and your eyes move really quickly. And I'm just gonna ignore you all, by the way. and your brain just makes one big image of it, so that it's not like blurs and shit. And like Wheat says, you can't really see while your eye is moving because that would just fuck up your brain. You're only looking at what the end and the beginning, and it makes the image together. Probably. Well, every animal needs to do this if it moves its eyes around, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to see or stand safely. There's a lot of like, I'd love to go into this as well because it's really interesting, but we need to also, I want to talk about the questions that people have. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of like, balancing that goes on in your inner ear, but also a lot of it is to do with your eye, and the way you like, the way your eye moves around and the way you're looking at things also is more like a mathematical part in your brain, whereas your inner ear is literally just really interesting and talking about things. Yeah, there you go. Is there anything else about eyes that we need to talk about? Maybe lenses? Do we want to talk about lenses?
We kind of did. I think, like, there's not too much to say about them other than
there's the one thing we kind of skipped over is a lens will take light beams that come into it, and it will focus it into a focal point.
They'll come out at different angles. So the example that's given is when parallel lines of light hit.
So there's the three classical lines, right? You've got this one straight line. One going straight through the center of the lens, I think.
I think the classical way I've seen it drawn is parallel lines coming at either end of the lens, and then they get angled to meet at the focal point.
Yes. Well, yeah.
That's just.
I'm just thinking when you do a lens. It depends what kind of lens, because you've got convex and concave lenses.
Sure, you can move it one way or the other.
It doesn't really matter. And it will. Fuck me, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I don't remember this. The important ones are. Yeah, basically any horizontal line will be redirected into the focal point, and a line that comes out horizontally will have come from the focal point the opposite side. And a line through the center just goes through the center. I think that's it. Doesn't change angle. Is that right? I think that might be it. I don't know. I don't.
There's a lot of lines on this now.
And this is talking about convex lenses, not concave lenses. Because concave lenses do the opposite. They, instead of pointing it to this point, they would have straight lines coming in, and they would spread it open into so this would magnify the image. Basically, if you have an image right here, it'd magnify it. Anyway, we can get more into lenses if we need to. If people want to know more about lenses, we can talk more about that, but it's not really to make a use. Yeah, I can just layer. There you go. I think that's enough about the eye. Let's go. Let's talk about tachyons, because you've wanted to talk about tachyons.
Yeah. So this is one that I looked up a while when I saw it again. So tachyons, spelt Tachyon, are. So what interested me about this is why they were always brought up within Star Trek. So a tachyon is a hypothetical particle that always travels faster than light. So and it would require an infinite amount of energy to reach light speed. So it's the opposite of a particle with mass that exists in the universe currently. It's hypothetical. It's never been observed. Probably
This is touch.
never will. But so yeah, it essentially always goes faster than light. That's its main property. Why it gets involved with Star Trek, I imagine, is because they're going faster than light with their warp speed and whatever. So tachyon is something that could address that. There is a secondary part of tachyon where it is a part of the imaginary mass field of the universe, which I don't know a thing about. So
Good. Thanks
There
for
you go.
bringing it up then.
yeah, that was just a paper that it was named in to begin with, but I don't think that's its common use. I don't think that is relevant anymore because it's been replaced by the Higgs field, which is the thing that is actually giving things mass based on the Higgs boson. Well, not based on the Higgs boson. Higgs boson's a part of it. You may remember that stunning discovery from
A couple years ago,
2012?
like 2008, maybe.
So a long
2012?
time ago.
It was a while ago at this point.
Yeah. Do you mean like the fabric of space-time? I'm sort of.
Everything.
These fields are confusing. They're essentially these fields go through the universe, and they determine what the laws of physics are, basically, because they give properties to things. The Higgs field gives things mass. There is, I think, I don't know them all. But the Higgs field gives mass. Or at least is a necessary component for mass. So, yeah. I don't know anything about imaginary mass, which is where the tachyon paper came into it. And
the Higgs
as
field
Capra
giving
quite
it
said,
mass is a very
niche.
deep concept, and
Yes,
yeah,
it's very deep. But I think essentially the part to do with the question about Star Trek is more to do with that it's a hypothetical particle going faster than light. And it's necessary for Star Trek to do that. So they've given it that particle to get involved with it.
that would make sense.
Yeah. Interestingly, faster than light particles, kind of not really possible. Yeah,
Well-
it's definitely a cool name too. But
It is
yeah,
a very cool name, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, we've kind of assumed that you can't, like, the speed of light is the hard cap of the universe, right? The hard cap of all speed, any speed, you can't go faster than it. Because you need, like, infinite energy. But, if something could go faster than it, it would be a tachyon. That's kind of, like, the idea, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say? It's like, we
Sort
thought,
of.
what if something could go faster? Well, this is what would happen.
The thing is that, so what's happening with a tachyon, as they describe it, is that as its energy decreases, its speed increases. So the more energy you give it, the closer to the speed of light it becomes. Yeah, the more energy you give it, the closer to the speed of light it comes, which is as everything else is, only it's going from a higher speed to a lower speed.
Okay.
Yeah, as Caps just said. So
I see. Okay.
yeah, that's a very difficult thing to see for it, because how does that work in any way?
It's
Like, what you
literally
would
the
have to
opposite
have-
of how we know the entire world.
What you would have to have with a tachyon is that it's traveling backwards in time. Although that doesn't really work because you're doing a square root of something in the equation that would result in an error, I think. So, yeah, it's a bit
Would it result in
confusing.
an error?
I think so. I think it's because you're trying to do a square root of a negative number, which is why it becomes imaginary.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay.
Oh, this is perfect, Cap. Why am I here?
No, that's really interesting, Cap. This is what the you know, I love having input from people in the chat.
Yeah. So I think the issue with the tachyons and why they have that is because they would enter into a situation where the equation would come out as an error, where you end up with the square root of a negative number, which is imaginary, and so you're not getting a real answer. So yeah, it's probably why it's entered into the imaginary mass field, because that's probably why you end up with imaginary mass. Because if you're trying to get to the stage where you're getting mass, you want these kind of you'd end up with this situation where you're getting a negative number, which is imaginary numbers. So I think that's where it's getting imaginary mass from. If in the same way that we have mass as it is, if you try and give something mass in this other way. But then if you have something that has to go faster than light and is going backwards in time because of that, you could just reverse time and it's now a normal thing going in the opposite direction. It's very confusing.
I'm sure he mentioned it once, Greta. I'm sure he's mentioned imaginary numbers. They're a very big part of math, and
yeah, they're horrifying, but they are a thing.
Well, imaginary numbers are interesting. They're not as bad as I thought they were originally when I learned about them.
No,
they're just
not
kind of
hard.
annoying.
Yeah,
and I think in physics
often to deal with.
Yeah, I think in physics often you get them and you're like, we don't need that because it wouldn't be realistic, so we're just getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Which is, really nice. Yeah. That's basically what... If you ever you're doing any physics and you get imaginary numbers, one, you're probably wrong, or two, you can just get rid of them and ignore it. There you go. There you go. Easy as cheese.
Yeah.
Easy as cheese. Right. We'll go to the next question then.
Yes, ignore my question.
Yeah. Not a question. Video.
Emergency question.
Let's look at JFusion's questions. So, JFusion asks, which animal is the closest living relative to a T-Rex dinosaur? I mean, we can look this up.
Yep, we can look this up. I feel like JFusion's answers came in more the form of a quiz than...
Yeah! I thought this as well.
Am I being tested here?
Yeah. Rex linked to chickens, ostriches, the closest living relative of Tyrannosaurus Rex are birds such as chickens and ostriches. There we go.
There you go. Next.
There you go. That's the answer. Changes affecting the weather occur in which layer of the atmosphere? I do not fucking remember.
I'm going to say stratosphere, but I have no idea.
Yeah. Changes
Google.
affecting the weather occur in which layer of atmosphere? The thermosphere. Oh, you were off.
I can't believe it. Is that next to it? Maybe.
25% of the entire atmosphere is covered by the troposphere, which is the lowest level. Yeah, I don't care.
Oh no, it's nowhere near.
Yeah, it's literally a pop quiz. Yeah, the thermosphere is like the highest part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas the stratosphere, you've got the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. It's like,
Really? I'm surprised by that.
We learned a graph about this. You had like, I think maybe it was temperature or something, or pressure or something in these. Because it builds up and it goes down again, it builds up and it goes down again, it builds up and it goes down again, basically. And this is like the tropopause, I think, or something is what it's called. And I've got like the mesopause or the stratopause, whatever, and this is the troposphere. This is the stratosphere, this is the mesosphere, and this is the thermosphere. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not I don't know much about climate.
Oh, Jay, what is your favorite dinosaur? Is the question.
Good question. Good question.
I love that question. I think as a kid, my favorite was the Velociraptor, popularized strongly by Jurassic Park. However, I am also a big fan of Parasaurolophus because they have funky heads.
What was that? Parasaurolophus. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can type something that sounds... Oh, they're the one with the penis heads.
Yes.
Are these ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cute. They're cute. There's a lot of cute dinosaurs. I don't know what the best dinosaur is. I learned that, I think a Stegosaurus, maybe? Is a Stegosaurus one of the other ones? I remember. There's one of the, Wait, I'll see if I can...
Diplodocus. You're such a Diplodocus.
It's a good name. There we go. So, yeah, the Stegosaurus, or Stegosaurus kind dinosaurs, they have a, I learned this the other day. There's a part of it,
It's such a
Yeah,
microraptor.
there you go. Sure, this is a cute Stegosaurus drawing that probably isn't accurate at all. And a part of it, it's got like spiky tail. It's got like these spiky things, right?
Mhm.
And it didn't really have a name. They didn't have a name until a comic. Can I paste the image? Can I, let's just, until I don't want to download it. This comic said, now this end is called the Thagomizer, after the late Thag Simmons. And, you know, it's a joke. But turns out that part of the dinosaur actually had no name yet. So, scientists were like, fuck it. And now it's literally called the Thagomizer because of this comic.
Nice.
Which is an incredible fact, and I love that. So there you go. There you go. Stegosaurus, because they've got a cool, interesting story about their tail. There you go. There you go. This.
Overlight's question. How do we make a portal to the Pokemon dimension so I can spend the rest of my days there?
A fair question.
A fair question. We're back onto portals.
How
this
would we
kinda-
make a portal?
Well, this kind of brings me back, because this isn't so much a portal as it is a change of reality.
Yes.
So I think that should
alternate
be what should be
dimensions,
focused
really,
on.
is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Multiverse theory.
Like, I actually kind of would bring back, I think, something I've spoken about before, which was, what was it? It was Big Bang Black Hole theory, where universes are born from within and black holes of other universes, using all the matter accumulated within those. And they get to a certain point, and then their
Big Bang?
space and time become inverted. But then that would have the same rules as presumably the parent universe, so that doesn't make sense at all. That wouldn't fit. So I'm
Well,
going to have
okay.
to end this universe.
Oh.
We just get some vacuum decay. we do that. We do that.
Can we just have the end of the universe quickly?
Yeah.
Just so that we can go to the... See, the problem is, that's not the question. The question is, we want to go there. How can we get there without us dying?
Make a I don't know. We would have to artificially mess about with what Pokemon do. Artificially make
what that Pokemon do.
And
Can
also
we...
we'd have to, like, because the key thing I think is Pokeballs. I think
Yeah,
the
Pokeballs
existence
are
of
like
Pokemon
compressing
isn't so much.
them into a tiny size and stuff. That I think that's one of the...
Yeah,
Also,
I
like,
feel like we
transferring
could
them...
make animals into Pokemon easily enough.
They also
Like-
they can transfer them into like the PC and stuff, right? Which I think in the end,
Yeah.
like what I think what it does is like it transfers them into just pure energy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of idea of teleportation versus being copied. Is it still you who comes out of the other teleporter? Like teleportation where it disassembles all of your atoms.
Well,
Very
yeah,
Ship of
then
Theseus
we are actually at the ship of Theseus. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Disassembles all of your atoms, makes a note of all of what all those atoms were, and then somewhere else builds you from all the atoms that made up you, using the data that it stored.
Yeah.
Because presumably the computers are just storing the data of everything that makes up the Pokemon. So
Isaac,
when
we
you
have clone
get it
tech in real life. Clones are real. We cloned the sheep, Jolly. That's like the big thing everyone always talks about. Oh, we cloned a sheep. And then we kind of like, feels like we haven't spoken about it a lot. I spoke about it earlier with the bananas and stuff. Clones exist. This is a thing.
And also, as we've learnt today, every banana.
Yeah, every banana is a clone. Well, they're not all all clones are the same because they're different breeds of bananas and stuff. But Yeah, exactly. Clones aren't as science fiction-y as you think they are.
Yeah.
You can't
So-
like speeding up their growth and stuff as they do in Star Wars isn't really a thing I think we figured out.
So perhaps the way of looking at Overlight's question is as a response to if you could ignore ethics, what would you do? Because clearly this is a life of cruelty and pain and constant death for Pokemon. And I will play no part in it. So on that note, we move on to Sophia's question. How does Babby form? Oh no, how does Babby from?
How does Babby from?
Hmm.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Uh,
If anyone didn't get the entire biology explanation of how Babby formed,
no, that's not
we
the
should.
question.
Sorry, how
How
Babby
does
from?
From.
Okay, so are we? Okay, so which is the main? Which are the main words we're talking about here? Are we talking about?
From.
Are we talking
And
about?
Babby.
Okay, so we've got Babby, right? Do we? Because we could pick how does Babby, or has Babby from? You know, has Babby from, or how does Babby from? You know,
Oh, I
which
see.
is the
There's a
which
lot.
is the important? Because can we focus on the how or on the from?
So we need to get the emphasis
So
sorted out.
there's
So
two
is it
words.
how?
There's really two questions in this question. How and from also where.
Well, I think there's more questions than that. So the question can be, how does Babby from? How
Yes.
does Babby from? How does
Does
Babby
we
from?
can have the
And
we
how
can have
does
like
Babby...
the theological and like thought about it. How does Babby form? Does it or does it not?
from?
How does
Not-
Jesus Babby form?
No form in this question.
From? Sorry. Can you do
because-
R and have you will soon? Does that detract from the that? Will it? The.
I think that the
Exactly.
question here is the how, but we need to identify what Babby from means.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. So what is Babby from?
Good question. Let's Google it.
Babby from. Yeah, see what you get Babby from.
Let's see. The first result is Justin Bieber Baby featuring Ludacris. So maybe it's
Oh,
that.
so how did he write that song?
I'm
okay.
fairly sure that they got some help for that. I can't exactly.
Probably. Yeah, from Ludacris.
Well, yes. Maybe
Yeah.
you should play it for your stream. Or
No, because I'll get DMCA'd, but if you want to sing it,
Okay, sure. Let me just get the lyrics up.
just do the you know
Wait.
it.
No,
You know it. Come on, you know it.
No, I don't.
You know it. You know it. I know
Let's
you
see.
know.
I will do the rap section.
No, you have to do like the
I typed Babby, Tifa.
do the chorus at least.
No.
Now we move on to the Twitch Sing segment of our stream. Do the chorus at least. Come
I
on.
can't fit you. I'll always be there for you.
No. This is not it. This ain't it. That's not it. We need the Babby part.
That
Do the
was
chorus at least. The rap bit's boring. No one cares about the rap bit, do they?
Hang on.
Oh, yeah. Did you type baby or babby? Because Zephyr got different
I typed
results.
Babby.
Okay. Zephyr, I think you might just be.
Oh,
you might have just searched
Sorry,
things.
sorry, I see. It went for.
Oh, it
very-
automatically. Yeah, I see.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I lied.
Okay. God damn it. Yeah.
Taken. I'm very sorry. Oh, but they keep giving me formed. I don't want formed. I need it to be from. So I'll add in a plus on from. No, I meant Babby plus from. I see. Oh, okay. From Babies with Love.
Okay, it's another
it's
song
corrected again. Stop doing that. Here we go.
from Babby.
Perfect. The Da Capo benchmark suite /FDN/commit brackets R44 brackets.
Okay, tell us more.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Yes.
Go away. Let's see. Added leucine search data. Authored by Robing, 2006-06-27. Added
Isaac.
bunch
Oh.
of capo benchmarks, data, usearch, index default segments. Yes, binary files added. Perfect. And then a bunch of words, of which are some plus Babby and plus form. And
I
there is
don't know, Isaac.
every word in English on this page. It is a very long page.
I see. So how was English made? Well,
Go to a different source, shall we? Because I also have
Bunny, how are you doing?
it's Mulgara-SVN bracket R754-project/xa2/object-pool/scratch.
Scratch.
Which-
Is it a game of Scratch? How we call it?
Which also, unfortunately, is just a list of every word. I'm
Ah.
afraid to say that I cannot answer how does
Turns
Babby
out this is a very difficult question, and we are we're inconclusive.
So our answer is clearly in unison. I'm like baby, 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 oh, baby, 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 yeah. you.
Inconclusive, exactly. There you go. I hope that clears that up. There you go. Yep. Hope that works. Oh, not that. Don't look at that. Next one. There you go.
Next
As the late great the baby one said. I don't think you can call him great. I don't think you can do that anymore.
Next
I think you definitely shouldn't be.
How fast
Zephyr has some really good questions here.
are ducks?
I
would say it depends on the duck.
How fast are ducks? Depends what they're running for, from.
Yeah, depends
Or
on the
as
duck.
well.
Depends where the duck is.
If they're running, you should run as well.
True.
I think that's just a general good idea.
Yeah, because they're probably towards bread.
And we love bread.
We do.
Bread is great. Are vertical tall ducks faster than mallards? If you drop a duck, is it faster than if it's walking? Probably yes. I think that's what you're asking.
It's not good for them, Steve, but they do. Just
They
like
love-
meat with
yeah.
ice cream.
Yes. Probably. There's racing ducks. I didn't know they race ducks. I'm assuming they're very fast and they've got like little helmets on. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bread makes ducks all bloated. They get a bit fat. You know, just like humans do when they eat bread.
But also, yeah, do not give bread to birds. It's genuinely not good for them. Well, ducks specifically. I don't know about every bird, but whatever. Fucking cares. Causes algae blooms when it's not eaten.
Yeah, I don't need to worry about that. I don't throw around bread. It's my bread.
Yeah, it's
As
my
for-
bread. I'm eating the bread. You fuck.
How fast are ducks in space? It depends.
Depends what speed they got into space. If they're just in space and not in like range of orbit of anything, they'll just keep going because there's not anything slowing them down. So how fast are they? Just standard speed.
Yep.
They won't slow down. They won't speed up unless
Standard speed. The official speed of space.
standard duck speed. Here's some racing ducks. Okay, let's have a look at
Yeah.
that.
If you threw a duck in space, it would move a bit faster and keep going.
Okay. I'm pretty sure those are geese. Are they not? They look... Well, it says ducks, but they look like geese, don't they? That me? Am I wrong? Oh my god, they run! Look at them running! Aww.
There you go, Steve. That's how fast a duck is.
I was wondering what standard speed is. It's about 7 times the standard speed of a caterpillar.
Perfect. Next question. Why aren't ducks faster? Well, they're getting.
Wait.
You've just seen they're being trained to run, and so they will get faster, but they're very early on in their training at the moment. And the next question.
Wait. That's really quick. I haven't even put up the thing yet. Why aren't ducks faster? Because
they can fly.
Yeah, why would they go faster? They have no need to go faster. It's about 7. Well, Chef, I could have said that, but I only give you real answers here. So, you know. Have we answered the orange question? Yeah, basically, why don't orange camouflage themselves? Because they want to be eaten. I did speak about this earlier, genuinely. They want to be eaten, they want to be found, and to be brought into the ground with their seeds.
Yes, they want to be seeded.
Well, they are seeded.
No. Oh, I see. They want to. Let's move on. We then have a few other things. Just gonna go past.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Yes, if you want to. You had a boyfriend who could see through all of time, and he said you shouldn't have sex tonight because it'll be mediocre, but it's written in time. You have sex with Alpha Starline. It's mediocre. You know, it doesn't mean it's bad. If it's bad, it would be a different question. If it's mediocre, why not? You know. That's like, would you eat a mediocre pizza? Yes, because a mediocre pizza's
still pretty good.
Know. I'm assuming this person with this boyfriend usually enjoys sex. I know, a big assumption, but I'm assuming they do. So, you know, there you go.
Perfect. Next.
What will it take for Redux to start the stream on time? 500 subs. Professor Brian Cox said, "Things can only get better." By the band D-Ream was the most scientifically inaccurate song of all time. Apparently. Brian Cox, very smart guy.
What do you think is the most scientifically inaccurate song of all time? I don't know. Something.
Well, can we think of some scientifically accurate songs? I'm glad I didn't hear what you said. You know, the first thing I think of is like It's Raining Men, but I'm sure at some point that would have happened. So probably, you know, could have happened. I'm a rocket ship on my way to Mars. You know, that could have been written by, you know, a rocket ship on its way to Mars, which is a thing that has happened, honestly. So I believe it. Well, usually it's because you don't give them the chance, Foki.
But that's not inaccuracies. You can't mark artistic expression as inaccuracies. It has to be actually wrong. I don't know, I imagine some nut job has done a song about the anti-vax movement or something. A song about how the moon landing was faked.
True.
A song about,
these are probably things that exist.
A song about Tottenham being the best team in London. That probably exists. That's probably
that's not Total Football.
That's probably the most scientifically inaccurate song that's ever existed. That's my answer.
Sure, I'm gonna take your word for it. I give no shits. Yeah, there you go. I hope that answers your question, Greza.
Oh yeah, that's the point. That's true, Tafki. Football's Coming Home is now inaccurate and has been for.
True. So true. So, might be a bit late to answer this question, Voki. I'm sorry. We're about 2 hours and a half late. It's fine.
Oh, no.
I have a very important question, science question. When you spill a soft drink on a keyboard, why do the keys stay sticky instead of it drying at some point? It's actually an interesting question. Sugar?
Sugar and other stuff that doesn't evaporate.
Yeah. The way it dries is the liquid, because like the liquid in it will evaporate and become gaseous. The water in it will evaporate, and all the other shit that is in it that isn't like gonna, because I guess it's gonna become gaseous and there's gonna be like very tiny liquid particles that's gonna spill out, but most of it is gonna be just pure water that's gonna evaporate, I'm assuming. Maybe? I don't know, it depends what else is in there and what the like what the temperature, like what the boiling point of that is. Either way, it's gonna evaporate, and it's gonna all the other shit is gonna stay on it, and it's gonna stay sticky. Don't try to dry it with a hairdryer. I don't think using a hairdryer to like blast hot air at your keyboard is just a good idea in general. I don't think, it depends how hot the air is, but yeah, that's not really a good idea. Also, it's gonna splash everywhere. So I agree with that. Yeah, use soap.
Yep.
The keys melted. That's what I expected. Yeah. Don't point a hairdryer at any plastic. It's generally not a good idea. Or anything that's just like has a low melting point. Like plastic has a quite low melting point. What is the melting point of plastic? Well, it depends which plastic, I guess, because there's many different kinds of plastics. Would you love a bit of soap? Isaac loves soap. Do you want to talk about soap? Oh, how soap works?
Not really. Not really. I don't know anything about soap.
What do you mean?
Well,
Very-
we can
it's very
discuss that another time.
Basic.
We've got loads of questions to go through still.
Do we? Oh yeah,
No.
people have
Yes. Yes.
people actually
Yes,
post.
actually.
People have actually posed some questions since we
Yes,
started.
there's been more questions since we started than there were when we were waiting for them.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's great. No, that's great. Speed round.
Speed round.
We can do a
What is
speed
the speed
round.
round? Is the speed round soap?
Soap. The next question is actually really interesting from Tafki.
Yeah.
Hello, how do blood types work and why are they good representations of
Hello.
I like that you said hello. It's very nice, very lovely. It's like you're writing into our show. It's very fun. I like it. It really feels like a TV thing now. Why the good representations of dominant genes? Thank you. I don't remember exactly how the dominance and stuff in blood types work, but basically, if I'm not B, you're gonna be mad. What? That's not. Blood types don't change your personality, Jay. If that's what you're trying to go after. And no, I don't. I have actually no idea what my blood type is. It's not really as important as yeah, sure, Jay, but it's inaccurate. It's scientifically inaccurate. But there you go.
Yeah, not on this stream, Jay.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Oh, mine's universal donor, exactly. So, okay, there's two types of things. You've got A, B, and O. Right?
Yeah,
And you've
A,
got...
B,
and then you've
AB,
got
and O.
positive or negative. Well, yeah, so what's the difference? I don't remember exactly what O is. Do you remember? It's been really a long time since
Well, I have a very
Basically, we need to talk
helpful
about
diagram.
genetics first.
I
wanna
have a
draw the
very
diagram.
helpful diagram on the Wikipedia page for blood type, as per everything this stream. So,
Yes.
they all have
I'll just
their
draw.
own red blood cell types, and then
Yes.
there are differences between the antibodies that they have in the plasma. So, group A has anti-B for that. Group
Yeah,
B has
I'm gonna
anti-A.
draw it as well.
Group AB doesn't have any, and Group O has both. And then there's also antigens in them, for which Group A has the A antigen, Group B has the B, Group AB has the A and B antigen, and Group O has none. So it's something to do with antigens and antibodies.
Yeah, and this is without plus or minus, because
Yeah.
the rhesus factor, I
That's
think is what
separate.
it's called. It's separate. It just kind of, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so yeah, red blood cell. I'm gonna call it RBC. Antibodies in plasma. So antibodies in plasma. That's an R, not a P.
Al?
Apple. And antigens in red blood cell. ARB. We've got antibodies and antigens. We need to talk about the difference between antibodies and antigens, right?
Why? Yeah, but yeah, sure. Go for it. Sorry.
What's the problem?
Why did you split them by them being in plasma and being in red blood cells rather than antigen and antibody?
It's just specific. Shut up. It's just the antibodies are in plasma and the antigens are in red blood cell. I'm also looking at literally the first image on Google image search, okay? Shut the fuck up. I'm literally just drawing this over, okay? So you've got the red blood cell. Everyone's got... they're all just red blood cells, okay? So the base idea of a red blood cell is the same. But the thing is, they've got...
Oh my goodness,
little
the A1 is completely
receptors.
different.
They're all filled in. Shut the fuck up. The receptors on them is what are the different parts. You've got A and B receptors, I think is what it's called, right? Is that true? Is this true? So the way they've done it is they've made the A ones like purpley and the B ones like greeny. So we need to talk about genetics. Genetics. The base concept of genetics is really easy. It's just if you get if your mum has if you're okay, so you're getting your DNA from two parents. That's usually how human reproduction or mammal reproduction works. Right, and that DNA is getting mixed, and you'll get either like the part from the one parent or the part from the other parent. So if you have, well, that's like the basic idea of genetics. You have A and B, so imagine your mum has A.
I don't
Gene,
know.
you always have two of each DNA, like of each DNA strand, like each gene. So that's why you can have. Basically, what A means is you have AA. What B means you have BB. Genes. So if your mum has AA genes, and your dad has. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Your dad has BB. Literally, all you do to find the phenotype, which is the expressive part of the gene, is combine them. So you get AB, AB, AB. Imagine these all say AB. It's really, the line's too thick. Who cares? And these are all the options you could have, right? So if your mum's completely A, your dad is completely B, then you will have AB blood. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm pretty sure blood, because there's different kinds of genetics that are like not as like cut and dry like this, and you can have like mixed things, but I don't think that's an option with blood. Anyway, you have AB. Isaac, I don't know what that means. Okay, So let's say your parents have, your mum's still AA, but your dad is AB, right? Shut the fuck up, George, okay? Then you have the chance of having AA or AB, right? All of these squares have equal chances of what's the word? Like outing itself? That's not the right word. Do you know what I mean? Like showing itself phenotypically. Expressing. Thank you, Ash. So you'll have like a 50% chance of having AA blood or AB blood. Which is why, like Tafki asks, it's a good representation of... Well, it's just a good representation of this. That's if they all have equal chance of happening. Dominant genes is... are A and B dominant over O? Is that how it works? Because you can have dominant genes, which means that the ones with... yeah, so if there's O, it will have less chance of occurring. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so the difference, if I go back to actually like coloring this in, these here, O has like, it has no receptors. Well, no protein, no proteins to recept, which means anything can fit on it. Instead of on the A's, only the specific antigens, antibodies, can fit on it. Is that how it works? Antibodies fit on it, and antigens are the things on the blood cell. So yeah. Go. What am I saying? Hello?
Go on, fill out the next 2 rows. I'll continue to mess around with space.
Yeah. So this is... Yeah, A will have antibodies for... Good night, Zephyr. It will have antibodies for B. And B will have antibodies for A. AB will have no antibodies, and O will have both antibodies. Is the idea. The feeling, my problem is just that, like, antibodies, I need to remember what they actually mean. Let me just look. An antibody is basically what's left in what is left in the blood after, like, for example, a sickness, but that also it doesn't really like, you've got antibodies, doesn't specifically have to be like these kind. I'm terribly at explaining this. Why did you ask me about this? This is terrible. I used to know a lot about this, and then I forgot because it's been like 4 years or something since I last read anything about this. So yeah, there you go. But I know the genetics part because that's the interesting part. I don't know exactly like the biology part behind like the antigens and antibodies. Then you've got like the, I think it's called the rhesus factor. Is it plus or minus? But then people want you to come in because there's so few people that who have that. It's good to have on hand. Yeah. If you have AB positive blood, you can get anything because first found on rhesus monkeys. There you go. I think the thing. Oh yeah, I think the thing is if you have the antigen, you can't, like, your body will defend against the sorry, if you have the antibodies in your blood, your body will defend against the antigens of that same type. So since the A has A antigens, which are these little sticks, it will defend, and you've got antibodies for B if you give it B blood, or AB blood. It won't accept it, right? Whereas the other way around, if you have B blood, that has antigens. The blood of the antigens is if you give blood that has B antigens on the blood cells, yeah, B blood, exactly. It will, if you give B blood to someone with A blood, they have antigens for those, they have antibodies for those antigens, so they will fight it off, basically. AB can accept anything because they don't have any antigens. So it's just gonna accept anything. Made a Punnett square based off phenotype instead of genotype, resulting in only an AB offspring of parents that are A and B, but the genotype isn't actually like that. True. I assume you know more about genetics than I do. I made a little thing to explain a Punnett square, basically. That's it. That's basically it. But yes, I'm assuming you know more about genetics and these kind of things than I do. And specifically about blood, I don't really know much about genetics. If you want to know more, ask Muchin, I guess, or I think Overlight does genetics, knows about genetics. So if you, there you go, doxed. Pretty sure she said that in her Discord.
Another doxing.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that's why AB can accept everything because it's not going to fight against anything. That's why O can be given to anyone because it's not going to be detected by anything, if that makes sense, right? Yeah, there you go. These are the ones that fight, and these are the ones that get detected by the blood. And then the rhesus factor is positive or negative. People have been talking about it earlier. Very dangerous for a person with rhesus negative blood to have a child with somebody who has rhesus positive blood. Is that true? Why is this? For the baby, yeah. What? Yeah, I don't really remember much about the positive and negative things, but genetically, like, it is interesting. It's a really good question, and I do not know enough about blood type and things to really be talking about it too much more. So yeah, there you go. There you go. We also have a lot more questions that I want to get through, honestly.
Yeah. Next up, from Gregor.
Interesting question. What the fuck is entropy?
Oh,
Oh, do you not want me to swear?
Our polite science stream. I can't believe it.
This is not. This has never been a polite science.
And why does?
Oh, sorry. You had a second question. I forgot. How did things survive whatever killed the dinosaurs, and how did mammals come about?
Some things buried underground to avoid the initial heat storm from
big meteor landed on Earth. We are quite certain about this now because we've actually found a crater and stuff like that. Everything went to shit. Everything was very warm. Very tiny little mice-like creatures burrowed underground. Were safer there. They could live off even tinier creatures that are also underground. And that is why we don't have large reptile kind of looking things, and we have more mammals, because the tiny mammals that lived at the time actually had a way to survive it, and the large reptiles didn't. Neither did the large like insect kind of things, which also existed at the time. Well, maybe not at the time, maybe beforehand. I don't fucking know. A lot of these dinosaurs didn't even know each other.
Isn't there also something about oxygen levels changing over time. There's less of it now than there was, which means there's a lot less massive creatures than there used to be.
I think that
Something
is
like that.
Yeah, I think that is correct. I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, there you
Because
go.
I mean, woolly mammoth came about not at the same time with dinosaurs.
Not at all. Not even close.
But died. Yeah, not close at all. It was a mammal. It just died off. I don't remember why. I don't think it was to do with oxygen. I don't think the time scale was long enough. But it died.
No, not oxygen. I think it's just either like overhunting. Maybe did humans actually hunt mammals? Like big woolly mammals. Woolly mammoths.
For some reason, off the top of my head, I feel like humans and woolly mammoths never coexisted. I think that off the top of my head, I
think
feel
they
like
did
that's a myth.
though. I feel like that's I don't know. I feel like humans and dinosaurs definitely never did. I feel like humans just overhunted them, to be honest, and like there was human predation of giant mammals, yeah. Predation. Well, yeah, not humans, but some kind of human ancestor, maybe like some kind of like, not Homo sapiens, but maybe some kind of Homo erectus or one of those kind of things. I don't remember enough about evolution and those kind of shit. It's not my.
Oh yeah, it was at the same time. Like very early humans, because apparently 4,000 years ago, so that's 2000 BC, seems to be when people are thinking it went extinct.
Homo
so, yeah,
ercilia,
okay.
exactly. Really, Voki? That's interesting. It's interesting to think about history and Earth's time scale, because the length of time that dinosaurs lived on this planet absolutely dwarfs the amount of time that mammals have had to evolve into humans and up till now, which is absolutely crazy to think about.
Yeah, and perhaps an indication of the difficulties of making life such as ours that would be detectable elsewhere in space. Seeing as dinosaurs, I mean, obviously they had a lot of threats, but they were a fairly consistent species for a long time. And no offense to the dinosaurs, but they didn't really do much.
They weren't very smart.
No.
And they didn't really become smarter.
No.
Well, not as much as we did.
Yeah,
or not, maybe not in the same way.
No.
Maybe they did, and
Well,
maybe
there's
like civilizations of dinosaurs out there who we'll never
maybe.
know.
Maybe there's an interesting theory on that intelligence isn't, in terms of survival of a species, intelligence isn't as important as perhaps we think it is, and therefore isn't evolved very often. Because the brain is.
Well, yeah. There's
a lot of
there's a certain level of intelligence that you need to survive, and at that point you don't really need more, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if you get lazy, you'll need more intelligence to stay lazy. I think that's the main part. And I think we got lucky that we survived being lazy for so long to actually evolve into being smart. Because usually if you're an animal and you get lazy, you'll get eaten. Or you will die in some other way. Which is why I think there's a tough barrier to become, like, smart. Anyway, it's really interesting. Yeah. It's a good question. Anyway, what the fuck is entropy? Why does Christopher H. Bidmead keep referencing it in his Doctor Who stories?
Yeah,
entropy
is the measure. Well, it's given a lot of. It's an interesting one, entropy, because I would say that this one can come under a kind of misconception thing as well. Now that I think about it, but essentially, entropy is defined as a measure of disorder. However, it's also a measure of how much thermal energy a system has available to release. So things always has unavailable to release, I should say, not available, unavailable. So it always, in a closed system, entropy will always increase. So everything will go towards chaos, as it were, towards disorder, towards essentially a more stable state where all energy is kind of like nicely distributed, nicely within a stable state. Yeah, just so it can't really go anywhere. So everything's gonna kind of just be happy. What's that?
Enthalpy. Yeah, you're
please.
thinking about enthalpy.
Enthalpy,
'Cause
yeah.
that's the thing. Enthalpy is like actually the one that is useful, whereas entropy is like more of an idea, more of a concept.
Which is why I think it gets worked into stories like has been mentioned by Greza there, where entropy is the idea that everything is destined for disorder, which is like, a book villain's dream. They can just stand there and go,
Anarchy.
everything is heading towards chaos. I'm merely its harbinger. Things
I'm
like that.
really
It's
helping it
very-
along.
Very
Yeah.
dramatic, This is the will of the universe. So it's all over the
Yeah.
place.
The thing is, we can't. Entropy is not something that we can actually measure. There's no actual way, well, that I know of. Maybe that's a lie they told to me. But as far as I know, entropy is
maybe
not
at
something you
PhD
can
level.
measure. There's a way you can like represent entropy in certain systems, maybe, as like the chaos. But like, how are you gonna conceptually? Yeah, you can't measure it. There's no way to like give it a number. You can measure the change in entropy. Is that a thing, or is it the change in enthalpy? And then there's like a connection between entropy, enthalpy, and like Gibbs free energy or something, right? I don't. There's not an entropy scope. Exactly.
No,
No way to measure it.
no. Yeah, like it's purely to do with energy essentially. I mean, it's all about disorder in how it phrases itself, but the concept of it is that energy will no longer be released over time. So yeah, it's to get to the point where everything is at the point where energy is no longer being released. Everything is spread out and random and no longer interacting, and nothing is happening. So yeah, it speaks of chaos, but when you think of chaos, you would think of a lot of things going on everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's more a case of everything you have is in random places and no longer interacting, and therefore it's stable but chaotic and disordered in that nothing is nearby. It's all just yeah, it's a weird concept. But yeah, it's all over the place. Enthalpy, I remember something about that, but I can't remember what it was.
Enthalpy is
I feel like it might be efficiency of reactions. Is that it, or is that something else?
it's like the amount of energy released or something like that, or needed in a reaction. It's something like that. It's like specifically an amount of energy, I think. Yeah, I don't remember. Enthalpies, it comes up a lot in chemistry, as Cap said. As Cap's name suggests, Cap was right about this enthalpy. I don't know about the heat capacity of a system. That might be true. I don't remember. I don't know much. I don't know. But yeah, entropy and basically it comes to like randomness and like when is a state random? Like what the idea of like entropy, like what the way I remembered studying it, like hearing about entropy and stuff, was also like, imagine you've got a box, right? That's not what I want. Imagine you've got a box and it's got well, actually no, a better representation. That's more chemistry. The way systems have like the different phases. Okay, so you've got gaseous, so the three states of matter, the three standard. There's many states of matter, but there's only the three standard, right? You've got gaseous, you've got liquid, and you've got solid, right? So if your matter is solid, all the atoms in it will be like close together. They will be like stacked in a certain pattern, and they won't be moving as much, right? If you then head over into liquid, is that how it works? I don't know.
Yeah.
They will be, they'll be moving around, but they'll be close together still. But there'll be some more space and there'll be some more movement because there's more energy in it, right? A liquid is hotter than a solid. There's more energy in the system, so there's more movement in it. A gas, is just fucking everywhere, the atoms are everywhere, the molecules, whatever, of the gas are all over the place, just flying around. They have a lot of energy, they have a lot of kinetic energy because they're moving around, and so the temperature is higher. If you look at the entropy in these, this is very stable. There's no chaos here. This is very normal, right? This is very, like the liquid, okay, it's moving around a bit more. There's more different. A good way to visualize entropy, I think, mathematically, is the amount of different states it can be positioned. One best definition I heard from a professor was basically a system moving from an organized state to a more disorganized state and stable state. Yeah, basically. The less organized, also known as the more different patterns there are, basically, the higher entropy. So if we look here, the entropy would go up along here because there's way more different states a gas could be in, and the chance of all the particles of a gas being in one corner is way lower than the chance of all the particles. This is kind of the idea of like everything goes to chaos, like that's the thing. Just the chance that all the particles are like randomly spread out across the room. There's just so many more different ways to spread them all out over the room, and there's only one way to stack them all in a corner if all the particles are identical, right? So the entropy's higher because there's more chaos, there's more randomness, there's more different options, and that's why things go towards the more higher entropy, because they will. There's just more. It's just statistically more likely to happen. Is an interesting mathematical way to think about it. Like, yeah, okay, there's a lot of forces happening and shit, but who cares about that? I like this. Yes, hello, Joey. Much science.
Yes.
Sweet. Are you still there? Okay.
Okay. We have a couple of nonsense questions.
Yeah. Entropy.
Well, one that's fair, but I have no idea.
Wait. What is the science of rum or whiskey? We can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
You see that as a nonsense question? I don't think it's.
No, I just have no idea.
Well, we can look it up.
We
Well,
can-
the
yeah, of course.
basic idea
See
of
if we've
it.
had any idea of anything else we've spoken about.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea
How are
is
you-
that
how
it's
are you doing, Joe?
alcoholic.
Basically, the alcohol in it. I'm not entirely sure about this, so this could be completely wrong. But I seem to recall basically alcohol blocking certain inhibitors in your brain, which means certain like connections between your neurons won't fire as well, and certain neurotransmitters won't be accepted for a bit, making your brain work different. I think that's the basic idea of it. In brains, we've got neurons, which are like little electric pathways that, well, yeah, like that shoot to speak to the other parts of the brain and with your body and everything. And the end of a neuron is called an axon, pretty sure. And it's like kind of like this. And this part has like little acceptor things. There will be like an electric pulse that comes in here. And then this will release some kind of neurotransmitters, as we call them, which are just like some kind of enzymes or something. I'm not entirely sure what exactly they are. They will fit perfectly in here, and when they fit in here, they send another pulse. Is the idea. The more there are, the stronger the pulse, the stronger the effect of something that happens, the stronger you do something. That's what's happening constantly in your brain when it's sending messages. When you think, oh, I want to move my arm, it's going zoop, sending electricity throughout, sending a pulse. The way electricity spreads through these cells is also really interesting, but it's a bit tough. Yeah. I think that's the basic idea of alcohol. It makes your brain fuzzy. By basically what alcohol does is it would come in here, like it would send in here some things instead that block these, so that these neurotransmitters can't fit in here, so they don't really send it through. Electricity in the body is super interesting. I did some research into it when I was looking into prosthetic limbs and stuff for a subject at school. It's really super interesting. It's really cool. The way, like, basically the way we would measure, I don't know, George. I don't fucking know science.
What's an aldehyde?
Compound containing a functional group with the structure CHO. Why do you want to talk about aldehydes? I don't fucking know. There are certain... They're just any compound in organic chemistry that has this at the end of it. Is it at the end of it? Or like... Yeah, it's at the end of it, right? Because you've got aldehydes and you've got the other one which is in the middle of it. That doesn't matter. Maybe this is also... I don't know. We can never be sure. I don't know why that is connected, George, not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't really know exactly what alcohol does to you. I mean, and alcohol is also like organic chemistry, by the way. Aldehydes are responsible for most of the flavors and notes in whiskey. What do you mean notes? I don't know enough about whiskey.
No, they're like flavors as well. How it smells. What kind of hints of flavor you get in it.
I see, okay. Well yeah, the flavor and stuff comes from a bunch of stuff, apparently aldehydes. And alcohol is also just a part of is a specific classification of inorganic chemistry, which means, I think, I don't remember. It's something with like an just OH group in it. It's like, okay, I'm guessing, this is gonna be wrong. I'm guessing it's gonna be like that. Is this right?
Why have you put R's on it?
That's the rest of the chain.
Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yes, yeah, hydrocarbons.
That's how they denote it. I think
hydrocarbons with an OH end. Because
yeah,
yes.
it might, maybe it's an end and not like a side thing.
It depends. Whatever. Well, it can be
anyway.
any.
No, the thing is, because I think it might be a different name if it's in the middle instead of at the end, but that's not always. It's not always.
Well, it's numbers within organic chemistry, like.
Not always, because sometimes the same group at the end or the same group in the middle have a different name.
Well, yes, like on certain lengths, but if you get
I don't know if
chain.
Yeah, okay, if you get like yeah, whatever. Anyway, I don't know enough about organic chemistry
like
to be talking about
pentanol
this anyway.
or something.
Yeah. Well, I
Methanol
think at that point it's still fine. It's not a very long chain, pentanol.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd need to specify. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you would need to specify, except if it's only on the ends.
Okay,
Doesn't
6.
matter. But it would be like
Hexanol.
penta 3 all.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Organic chemistry. This is basic stuff that's quite simple. It gets really fucking annoying later on. Or so I've told, but I don't know any much about it. Thanks. Hello, Smile.
Nope.
That's the science of rum and whiskey. Have you anything to add, Wheat?
No, not a thing.
Have you not looked up what alcohol does to the brain?
No, of course not. I've been busy scrolling through the remaining questions to see if there's any that I should think about beforehand. Which there is, but not quite yet.
Right, let's go to the next one then. How is it possible to have so many cuties in one place? I think
That's just what I do.
it's
Next
called.
question.
Yeah, sure. How comes the Earth's magnetism just keeps all the atmosphere from floating away?
It don't. Gravity.
Yeah. It's true.
Okay. Thank you, Isaac.
I've copied it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
But yeah,
really
the
have
magnetism
much
doesn't
to say.
really do much. It's not magnetism isn't what's keeping you to the ground either. It's the gravity, which is because it's so massive. It has a
Oh, I
strong
think
pull
I
on you.
think I see what Isaac means.
You've
yes.
also got
No. I understand, because if it weren't for the magnetic field, the solar wind would strip away the atmosphere. So that's what.
Magnetic
Isaac
field of the
means.
Earth makes a protective shield against a lot of radiation coming in, which would
Yeah.
fuck with the atmosphere. Does every
Yeah.
planet have a magnetic field? Not at all. Many, in fact, don't.
Yeah, most. Well, I say most. A lot do, a lot don't. Mars does not.
The moon.
So as
Does
long
not.
as a planet has some kind of Mars doesn't. As long as a planet has some kind of movement of conductive materials in its core, it will have a magnetic field. So Earth has a core that's hot and liquid,
Yeah, we've got a liquid metal
and-
core.
like metal, so it's moving around all over the place, generating magnetic fields. Mars is theorized to have had one, but have lost it. So that's why it's kind of a bit of a challenge, Mars. It's theoretically possible that Mars had an atmosphere. It's just been stripped away after it lost its magnetic field. I think it's, if anything, likely that it did have an atmosphere before then. So yeah, its core is cooled, it's lost its magnetic field, its atmosphere has been stripped away, it's a desolate wasteland. Earth has a magnetic field.
Not
because
yet, that.
We're not at that stage yet.
Yeah, but it could be a possible future. Smiley face.
Yeah, possible future.
Which is,
but
as
yeah,
someone
magnetic field.
as they're asking in your chat.
Yes.
That's the reason we think
Oh.
we might be able to terraform Mars is because, well, if it came from, it might have come from something like Earth, maybe, or like a possible Earth-like contestant. I guess. So we could revert that somehow, maybe. I think that's the idea. But also,
Yeah, I do
I
wonder
don't think
how-
I don't think we're planning on terraforming Mars to become Earth.
No.
It's more of a we're gonna build a way to survive on it that has a tiny bit of Earth in it. Like we build an artificial atmosphere.
Yeah,
Things like
like
that.
a lot of domes. Dome lens.
So,
Yeah, that's as much as we could do, particularly because what magnetic field really does is shield us from a lot of radiation as well as the atmosphere. Like on the moon, for instance, or people on the ISS, they can't go and look at the sun. They'd get blasted by a bunch of solar rays and radiation from that, which isn't good for you. So don't do that. So the same thing pretty much.
the reason you get
yes, Mars is
fucked up
further away,
by
but yeah.
the reason you get fucked up by UV by being in the sun too long is like double as and like 5 million times as bad when there's not like an atmosphere to protect you, and like Isaac says, like the magnetic field around the Earth to protect you from like 90% of those rays. Also, a lot of them get blocked by the ozone layer.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had a couple of questions from Isaac there as well.
Yeah. What is
I'll
solar
move on
wind?
to solar wind in a moment. There's a question about the core that's probably best to address first. Do you think it's possible to make that happen? Make a core like that, or give a planet a field? Certainly not with what we have at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe if you because what you would have to do, yeah, that's the question. You'd either have to liquefy the core,
Which would either way, it's gonna take a shit ton of energy. And when I say a
Yeah.
shit ton, remember the Dyson sphere we were talking about earlier?
yeah, get one of
About
those back.
that. Yeah, get one of those, and then we're talking.
Yeah.
Which is literally all of the energy of the sun. Well, I mean, this is completely speculating, and I have absolutely no idea what's the degrees of energy we would need. But it depends on the size of the core, how much of it you want, you know, like that kind of shit. But you'd want to liquefy it again, I guess, and then it's probably gonna start spinning and shit on itself because of the planet's spin.
Yeah.
Probably. So imagine we could just liquefy it and we only need the energy to heat it up to the right temperature. Then there's also the problem of keeping it there. Is it just gonna stay that temperature? Or, you know, is it gonna... How quickly will it die out again? Theoretically, yeah, Isaac. Practically, probably not.
No. I would also question whether a planet at a distance where it can have its core cool to that extent is even in the habitable zone of its parent star. I'm not certain whether it would be outside or inside or not. I would just say that if it's that far out that its core's frozen, essentially, well, it has frozen, then the surface temperature can't be that.
Could we move
livable.
Mars? If we could move Mars's orbit to closer to the sun, would that liquefy the core again?
I doubt it. I'm trying to think, because things that can cause that are to liquefy. So, for instance, I think Europa, or is it Io, the moon of Jupiter, has a liquid core because it's getting tidal forces from Jupiter, which are stretching it and moving it around, and it's getting a load of essentially friction, building up heat, which is why it's basically a ball of ice and water, that planet, and you'd expect it to be at that distance a ball of ice, but because of Jupiter, it's got a lot of water around its core and then a layer of ice on top, which is constantly cracking from the forces on it. So you need to have that force as well, but I don't really know whether you could. I presume you could heat it up an amount, and then possibly the pressure from all the mass on top would help. But at the distance Earth is, I think that the amount of energy you'd have to add in and the rate that you'd be doing it at that distance would be so slow that I think it would just cool down too quickly to happen artificially, because the core of Earth will have been molten since it formed. So it's been like that for 4.5 billion years. So that was a long time to cool down, essentially, because Mars has been there about as long. We don't know when it lost its core, but could have been very quickly, could have been immediate. Well, I say I don't know when it lost its core.
Scientists might know.
Yeah.
We
They
have
probably
no
do.
idea. We're not very smart.
They probably worked
Well,
it
we
out.
are. We is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But Earth, though, has kept it for 4.5 million years at the place it is, which is either a sign that, yes, it would very quickly melt back down to a liquid state at that time, or it would, or it would heat back up again. Frankie raises the collision of the moon as well, and yes, a lot of energy there. But
True.
there was so many collisions happening around then that I would
I think that is
probably
actually
say
how.
that Earth was still pretty much liquid at that point.
Is that not a big part of how Earth is formed by a lot of collisions giving it so much energy as well? I seem to remember something about that.
Most
the way
planets are just
planets are
like that.
formed, and that's how they get a lot of energy, is by lots of collisions into it.
Yeah, pretty much all formation of everything in space at early stages are going to be collisions. It's going to be chaotic. Everything's going to be getting hit all over the place. I mean, just look at the moon and how many craters there are on that. And that was obviously interrupted because it kind of reformed itself after it smashed into the Earth. I mean, I'm next to Mars in my space sim right now. Just where is it? Where's it gone? I've lost Mars. Mars? I've lost Mars.
Oh.
Ah, there it is.
Mars.
There it is. I mean, look at that. It's just crater, crater, crater.
Also for the oceans, though.
Yes, comets and the
I
ice from that
see.
to build
Okay.
in the water. Because yeah, that's a mess. It's been hit all over the place. And that's only after it became sizable. You can imagine all the impacts that were building it in the first place. Ooh, what's that? It's just.
You want to see what Wheat
crater.
is doing, by the way? There's a multi-stream going
Sorry.
on.
Yeah,
You
me
can
flying
see,
around in
you
space.
can have a look
engine.
on Wheat stream as well. But yeah, we do a little speed round for the next couple ones.
There was also Solar Wind that we skipped over from Isaac.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Let's talk about Solar Wind.
Which is it's essentially just a bunch of charged particles that are constantly being emitted from the sun, that just form a stream that would interact with everything. They go hit the Earth, magnetic field diverts it all because it's charged to the poles, which is where it goes in, and you get the what is it? The Arctic lights. What are they called?
Northern
Auroras.
Lights? Aurora?
Auroras. Yeah,
Yeah.
auroras in general, northern lights is things. That's
Northern
all
Lights
the
specifically.
charged particle coming through. Well,
Yeah, all the
bunch
ions,
wasn't that
ionic
Olympus
gas.
Mons? Is that what I'm looking at? It may well be.
Olympus Mons is the biggest mountain on Mars, right?
Sorry?
Olympus Mons is the biggest mountain on Mars, right?
Possibly.
Pretty
I
sure.
don't,
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't-
that is.
I don't
that's
know
true.
what it is called. But if that's what that
I'm
is,
pretty
then it certainly
sure
looks
that
like
is.
that. The overwhelming bulk of initial internal energy comes from the original gravitational potential of the cloud the solar system forms out of, though. Then gravitational heating and radioactive decays are the other big ones, and magnetic interactions, but I don't think that's significant for Earth. Yeah, I'd agree that magnetic stuff doesn't matter much, but the rest of them, gravitational
Yeah.
heating, everything hitting together, everything being compressed, small amount, well, I say small amount of friction, fair bit of friction. And yeah, but yeah, gravity itself, and also bear in mind that it was probably quite hot when it formed. So,
Quite hot indeed, yeah. I would
to-
assume so. Right.
It's
We do some speed rounds for the next couple ones.
The internal
I
heat
don't
cycle
think-
stopped, leaving a hot spot right under where the volcano formed. I've lost it, but it was over there. It's on the dark side of Mars now on my simulation. I could speed
I
it up
see.
and get it back, but
That's work.
let's
Right.
just look at the sun.
I'm gonna take a little copy
I've
of
lost
the
the sun.
next couple.
There it is.
The next couple of questions. I think we can kind of speak. Here we go. So,
I am using a game called Space Engine, all one word.
Yeah.
It's basically a map of the universe. I can go anywhere. I can go. Let's go to Sagittarius.
very pog,
This will probably crash the game. It is in early access.
which is less pog. But yeah,
Ta-da! Artist representation.
yeah, very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
Let's get some questions. What are atoms?
Yes.
Go.
What are atoms? Combinations of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Yeah, that do things. that's the summary. That's the quick version.
Here we go. Proton, neutrons, and electrons that combine in certain shapes, and that's how you get atoms. Bam. And then those atoms build up molecules, and those molecules build up the things you can touch and love and hate. There you go. If there's a positive amount of cuties in chat, does this make Grezza the electron of the chat? No, because you're incredible and you're positive and I love you. Chef has a tiny black hole, 1 millimeter in diameter. It's just in my pocket. I guess first question is, how fucked am I and everyone around me? We spoke about this last week. Everyone's gonna get fucked up because, well, there's two options. Either is the 1 millimeter the actual black hole, like the mass size of the black hole, and where is the event horizon, or is that the event horizon of the black hole? Those are the two options. If it's the event horizon, you're instantly fucked. If it's not the event horizon, no, sorry, it's the other way around. If it's the mass, you're instantly fucked. If it's the event horizon, you're also instantly fucked, but a bit less. Is that true? I don't know. You know more about these kind of things.
I did something. I'm not sure because where you got mass is from Chef's question in. I know that when we spoke about it before, it was the coin example.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's just one. Yeah. The radius. Yeah.
Yeah. Radius 1 millimeter is going to be fucking massive. So yeah.
Instantly fucked is hyperbole. Well. Probably. I don't know. I don't know much about black holes. I'd assume you'd be maybe not instantly fucked, but it wouldn't be great. It wouldn't be great. It wouldn't be great.
Like a 1 millimeter black hole, I would think would near instantly tear you apart, because it would surely have mass comparable to the Earth, at the very least. And yeah, you did. Yeah.
There you go. You'd be fucked. What is your understanding of string theory? I know absolutely nothing about it.
Oh.
But I know it is real, and I think it's the idea of it is the connection between relativity and quantum mechanics. Is that true?
Yeah, it tries to link the currently unlinked.
Yeah, basically there's a lot of theories about different parts of physics that are like, if the one is true, then it kind of means that the other, like they kind of somehow contradict each other in some way. But they're both working very well so far with everything we've seen. So the question is, how do we link these two so that they're both, they don't contradict each other? And I think that's what string theory tries to do. But I don't think it's like, is it actually true? I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's we can't say if it's true. But is it like?
No, there was a good example I saw somewhere where
how widely accepted is my question?
Someone had a book on something to do with physics for their assessment, and they were given there's a chapter in there dedicated to string theory that just reads, "There is no direct measured evidence for string theory." So, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, it can fit, but also there is no direct measurements based off of it. So,
whereas relativity and quantum mechanics, there have been a lot of, like, all the theories we have about those that have been tested, and so far seem to be correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
George has interrupted. I say interrupted. With a question of, isn't a teaspoon of black hole equivalent to our sun? Which is kind of impossible, because a black hole is a single point and therefore not a volume. So a black hole, the black hole element of a black hole is just a single point of infinite density, and it contains the entire mass of the black hole. So yes, a teaspoon of black hole would be something like that, but it could also be 44 billion times the mass of the sun and still be the same size. I think the example you may be thinking of is neutron star, which I think is, I think teaspoon of neutron star, I think, is the mass of Manhattan rather than the sun. But I may be incorrect about that. Usually neutronium. Oh, I do not recognize that word.
Isn't that like a fantasy term?
Is that just what a neutron star is made of?
Neutronium is used in popular physics literature to refer to the material present in the cores of neutron star.
Yes, okay.
There you go. Cheeky little info for you there. Yeah, I think we sped through this pretty well.
Was there one more? Can't remember if that's meant to be real. Whereas I was about to ask, blah blah blah. Finally, have you seen our last question of the night?
Let's do the J one.
Have you seen
very interesting scientific one.
Have you seen the scientific theory why villains don't attack during magical girl transformations?
I haven't.
I haven't.
There you go. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
I haven't. Jay. If you can explain it to us, feel free to. I don't see the scientific theory behind it. I'd love to know. I'd love to know, Jay.
Yep.
Love to know. Please explain it
reveal.
to us. Oh, Wise has popped another very important question. Are you single?
Yes. Much to my mum's disappointment.
Okay.
Oops.
If yes, how?
Yes, how? Good question. Very good question. I think I'm typing that wrong. Doesn't exist. Okay, never mind. I was going to go somewhere cool in my space sim, but never mind. Never mind.
But yeah, Jay. One check, Jay. Why do villains not attack during magical girl transformations? Because they look cool as fuck. That's why I would.
As I see them, the transformations don't actually take as long as they appear to in the when they're animated. We're just seeing it from the princess's point of view.
It's relativity. It's actually happening at like speeds close to light speed, so it's like for the princess for the magical girl. It's
right.
Going...
I seem to have broken my spacing because everything I go to is now a black hole, including Jupiter at the moment. So
Jupiter, famous black hole.
Jam.
The energy in that would be so high if you were to interrupt, you would die. I see. It's just going at such a high speed that. Well, I mean. Yeah, they do it mid-flip or something. It's more of a like... It's also like, usually the first time it happens, you see it, like, and it's like a really long sequence, and it's like, whoom, and you see like their hand change, and the other hand, and the leg, and then this part, and then the head, and everything happens, you know? But then later on in the same episode, they do it again, and it's just bam, and it's done, you know? It's like a light flash, and that's all. So, that would suggest that one of them is from the person's perspective, which is like, you know, for them it's happening at a certain, like in a certain time span, but time bends because of relativity, which Wheat knows more about. But anyway, there you go. That's the answer.
There you go.
I'm not gonna read this, Jay. There's a lot of words.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's enough. What is this? What the fuck?
Yeah, the energy density of the transformation process causes time dilation until it works. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. There's also one word here. Death awaits anyone who dares to disrupt a pretty cure transformation.
Yeah.
We got it.
And Chef, I think we'd love to do more of these in the future. We don't know how often we're gonna do them, I'd
Yeah,
love to do it
the-
weekly, but I don't know if we
right.
can get enough questions for it, and I'm not going to keep spamming everyone for questions like I did now,
Yeah.
because I did do that. I'd love to do it weekly if there's enough things to talk about, but I think very quickly we're gonna run out of things to talk about that we know about, you know?
Yeah, I think we'll see how many questions get added, and
Yeah, basically keep popping them in that in there.
yeah, and when
Um,
there's like a few, we'll have a chat and decide.
Yeah, when there's enough new ones to do, I think we'll do another one. I think it's on Wednesday is a good spot for it. I like this.
Mhm.
Good time.
Yep,
So
super.
yeah, anytime you have any questions, yeah. Also, yeah, Jay, this is true. At the speed it's happening, you know, if it's happening so quickly, they would have a lot of energy, which means they'd be very well. They just have a lot of energy. So if you get close, there'd be a lot of like fucking the friction and the heat and shit would just fuck with you. I assume this. I think you can. Wait, there's a lot of
What?
forces happening. If you're moving at light speed, I think you being not at light speed, trying to stop them, will just fuck with you. It will fuck with both of you. What if they threw a rock in?
What do you mean if they threw a rock in? Thing is, if they're
So-
moving at light speed, then whatever they're doing has instantly finished from their point of view.
Well, we're assuming it's not.
What? No, that's wrong. What am I talking about? Whatever you're
Yeah.
doing is instantly finished from their point of view.
Yeah, from their point. Oh yeah, that's true. But it's not. Well, it's not at light speed. It's like near light speed, right? But yeah, that would like be almost instant, so they don't have time to react. I think is realistic. Yeah, there we go. Time dilation, I think, is a good explanation for it.
Yeah,
And
nice.
I don't think that's what the thing Jay sent is about. I read it, not on stream though. Maybe next time we'll talk about it. Who can ever be sure? If you have any questions, like interesting questions about like I like the idea. I like the portal question. That was really fun. Something like that. If you have more like, could this be real questions, that would be fun. I think if you just want to know more about quite like basic biology and stuff, I really enjoy talking about that. Those kind of things really fun. Maybe I'll look up my research about prosthetic arms and stuff, and I'll talk about that because I think I could speak about that for like an hour, at least. That maybe, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll do it next week again. Maybe we'll do it another week again. I'm gonna go to the big screen cam now. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it again next week. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do like every 2 weeks or something, or maybe once a month. Or we'll see how many questions we get. If you have any questions, pop into my Discord. There is a thread in the general channel. I made it a thread because I didn't know if we are going to do it multiple times. Maybe I'll make it into just a channel that you can post into instead of a thread. So that doesn't disappear after a while. I think that might be a good idea. I'll just make a channel for it. But yeah. That could be cool. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I think I learned something, maybe. I don't know, I don't remember. Is that a bad sign?
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe we did.
You can
Maybe
never
we
be sure.
did. Sorry, I was just messing with
I enjoyed it. I enjoy talking about this stuff. And I hope we managed to explain things in a way that were understandable and that, you know, you might remember them at some point. And now you get to tell people, oh look, that part of the dinosaur is actually a Thagomizer, and it's named because of some comic. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Even if it's a question you already know the answer to, and you think it's something like do more quiz questions. Yeah,
if it's just a topic, that's good as well. I think.
Yep. Talk about topic. Talk about anything. Right. I need
If
to have
there's
a
just
shower.
anything you want to know more about,
Oh,
pop it in there.
Yeah.
really, really, really interesting. And
Yeah.
then maybe we'll have a look at it beforehand next time.
Yeah.
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 That'd be nice.
Good.
That'd be nice. Shall
Good.
we
I'm
find a raid? Are we gonna find the same raid? The same person to raid?
I would think Lime.
I was actually thinking of raiding Ravs, because Ravs is doing a subathon for his birthday. Maybe that would be fun.
B2 Ravs.
I'd like to raid Ravs. I don't think I've ever raided Ravs.
I think.
Not that Ravs needs the subs, but I think you should all just go and wish Ravs a happy birthday. Other people are available, like Lime. Disco is available, Mukanata is available, Tileron, Kofu, Monkey.
Wait, Redox streams? Is that true?
Aaron, who I've raided once, I think. I don't know
HE
if
Griekse
you
Y
remember that.
O 3.
Gidde, you wanna watch that? Tons of people, tons of cool people. Let's raid Ravs. Storm, thank you so much. Holy shit. 13 months, that's crazy. I love you very much. We are raiding Ravs. I'm sorry, Storm, we're literally just ending, but I hope you all had a good time. You have any questions, Storm, for next time? Because we're gonna do this again. Maybe I'll even get like a good a screen for it. I don't know. Who can ever be sure?
My name is Redox, but you can
you
call
have a
me
good time with Ravs.
Redox. Thank you
I wish
for
him a happy
following my
birthday.
channel.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
see you all
watching.
around.
This was really fun.
When will you be back next on stream, Redox?
Friday, if I feel like it. We'll be doing probably some tabletop games like Red Dragon Inn or Munchkin or some Banana Katana, one of those. When will you be next live, Wheat?
Well, I will probably be next live on Saturday playing Wildermyth with Redoxed and Overlight and maybe Chef and Joey too.
Nodders?
Wow.
Nodders? Oh, yeah. Bye.
Yeah, I'll also probably be on Friday with Redox. Bye.
My raid's gonna go.
She said to me, oh death, come close my eyes, whoa.